Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for round 3 of Super Rugby Pacific. The first match, though, for Moana Pasifika of the Super Rugby Pacific season. They are up against a very tough opponent here in the Crusaders, and it should be a very entertaining game. I know it's going to be fast-paced. I know it's going to be high-scoring, but it's just a question of how many points Moana Pacific are going to be able to put on the board after having so much time away from the rugby field, unfortunately missing their first 2 weeks up against the Hurricanes and the Chiefs. They were both, the Blues and the Chiefs, I should say. They were both due to positive cases. We have got Viliami in the chat, also Builder McLeod. Geelong is here, and Dwubs and Brandon as well. I hope you guys are all doing well, and hope you guys are excited for 3 matches back-to-back of Super Rugby Pacific. We have got this game between Moana Pasifika and the Crusaders, followed by game between Fiji and Drua and the Rebels. And then after that, we head over to HBF Park in Perth, and that is going to be for the Western Force taking on the Reds, which should be a very exciting game to close out the evening. Saders will win, says Jason there, and they are heavily the favourites. We're talking about $21 underdogs, and also Dwubs said obviously there, and also G'day Legend, the Super Rugby AU women's season start tonight. When does the Women's New Zealand start for the women? So pretty much, unfortunately, it was going to be this weekend due to the cases that they did end up having. Unfortunately, it did mean that it is going to be postponed for another week. So I believe next week will be the first week, and then they're going to lose those playoff games that they were going to be having. And instead, I think it's just done off whoever's at the top. But I don't know completely if that is the case. Maybe there's going to be a little bit of a late change. But as soon as I know, I will keep you guys informed about that. I am hoping to do some of the Women's Super Rugby competition in the future. And also, if Crusaders beat the Chiefs, the Crusaders are just too good. And there says Dwubs there. And they have currently got a very strong side. We're about to look through that lineup that we are talking about. In fact, we're gonna mix things up. Normally, we would go with the home side first. Moana Pasifika are considered the home side here, but we are at Forsyth Barr. And since we are talking about the Crusaders, we will go with them first of all. Looking through at the front row, George Bauer, Brody McAllister, and Ollie Jaeger as the 1-2-3. Then the locking combo, it is Mitchell Dunshane and Quinton Strange. Ethan Blackadder returns into his Crusaders kit with Tom Christie at 7, the leading tackler in the competition, and then Pablo Matera will be there at number 8, the Argentine international. Tauroa Tahuriorangi gets the start at number 9, his first start for the Crusaders this year. Simon Hickey at number 10. Dallas McLeod and Lester Whainā-Nuku will make up the midfield. So they've actually got Whainā-Nuku at 13 rather than the left wing where he was last week and the week before where he was able to score his hat-trick. But Kenny Naholo slots in at 14. George Bridge out on the other wing at 14. And then Che Fiaki going to be there at number 15. Looking through at the Moana Pasifika starting lineup for this match, it is going to be Ezekiel Lindemelf, Letero Tole, and Sakopi Kepu. They are the front row. Mike McKee and Samuel Slade slotting in as the 4 and the 5. Solomoni Funaki, Alamanda Matanga, and Henry Stowers, 3 dangerous individuals in that loose forward trio. And they are going to be all keen to get themselves out onto the field. Inari at number 9 with Lincoln McClutchy at number 10. Danny Toala and Levi Amua making up the midfield combo. Naria Fama'ai, Tima Whainā-Nuku out on the other wing. So it's going to be brother versus brother there for Tima taking on Leicester. And then William Harvili, his brother David Harvili, not playing in this game. And I should mention Quinton Strange is actually the captain of the Crusaders for this matchup. And it is currently 5 a.m. for me, says Cooper Media. That is very early indeed. So I do appreciate you being here, mate. Moana Pasifika just need a goal to at least score. And try to, says Dwubs there. And also Geelong Cats fan, the Kiwi Lads. Will you be doing Pakistan versus Australia first test tomorrow, says Geelong Cats. So we will be doing it from day 3 onwards, just because Super Rugby does overlap with it tomorrow, also with the 3 back-to-back games. But then from day 3 onwards, we will be covering all of Pakistan versus Australia. I'm looking forward to it. I've already seen that they have got underway for that matchup. And should be a very good one. And what's the tip for today's match, says Ed? Okay, today's match, for this one, I assume it is odds. I'm backing the Crusaders to win this one, I would think. But I assume you want a little bit more specific than just that. And I don't really have a number as of yet. Just looking at the players warming up, I would say, honestly, if the Crusaders don't win this one by about 25 to 30 points, I think they'll be a little bit disappointed. But in that Moana Pasifika, they've got a strong side, and I am hopeful that they will be able to get themselves over the try line maybe 1 or 2 times. And this one, and how's everyone doing? And also good bro watching or waiting for some good live. And also respect and good on the pronunciation, dude. Says Nazi there. Welcome into Livestream Pakistan. 0 for 14 at the moment, or 14 without loss. And also Geelong Eastern Beach. And there, says Johnny Blaze. And also, if somebody bet $100 on the Crusaders, start preparing your holiday. says Dubs. Although the problem is, if you bet $1,000 on the Crusaders, I believe you make back 10 cents or somewhere around there, maybe even $1. So, I mean, I don't know how much petrol that will get you for in this current economy, but, you know, if you've already got some money saved to side, then you can go on your holiday. That is what you are after. But these are the benches for this match. Sam Molly, it is Kalamatangi and Apakatoa as the front row. McRobbie and Jack Lamb will be 19-20. Jonathan Tamatena, Christian Liliafano at number 22, and then Finney Anisi at 23. Looking through at the Crusaders, Cody Taylor making his return to the Super Rugby competition. To Mighty Williams, who is an absolute unit of an individual. Fletcher Null, then also it will be Gardner, who will be on debut. Corey Kello recently having his debut. Bryn Hall, Richie Moonga, he is back on the bench and will be rearing to go for the last 20 or 30. And then Isaiah Punavai slotting in there at number 23. Well, that's one. And also we've got the high from Noah Smith quite a few times. And also we have got the Imagine Moana playing for Moana Pasifika. It would be pretty awesome. Moana to get the first points, says Jake there. And also, Hamish, did you see my 14-league multi? I did, so don't spend it all. Like, get yourself a holiday, perhaps. We were talking about holidays earlier. Rather than putting it all back into the TAB, maybe just cash out that money. Say thanks very much for coming. And players to watch from both teams, says Ed Vogan. Also, we did have a little bit earlier on from Nathan Sim saying hi. And also, what does Fijiana mean? The Fijian Drua women's team. I think it is just Fijiana. I don't know the complete meaning behind it, but I know that Fijiana is what the women's seven-side are called as well. And also, it's my birthday in 9 days, says Noah Smith. He will be looking forward to that one. But currently, players to watch from both sides, I would say for me, to be honest, it's probably the two Whainā-Nuku brothers. At least the Whainā-Nuku in the midfield. Kenina Holo, a lot of people may not know too much about him overall, but he is a very dangerous individual to have the ball in hand. He played for Taranaki recently. I got vaccinated today because of my age. It's not mandated as well, says Dwabs. And also, does Moana have a haka? I'm not too sure. We didn't see it in preseason, but that doesn't mean we won't get to see it here, perhaps depending on what is planned. I mean, the thing is, they've had plenty of time in the bubble as of late. They had 2 weeks where they weren't able to play. And also, let's not play and got a chest injury. Oh, was that a late change? Or them, I assume. So that would have been a very late one. Who's coming in for him, Nathan Sim? Do let me know. Is it possibly, I assume maybe David Havili might be an option? Don't know. I was getting you read my messages, Brandon. I'll try my best, even though it is going very quick. And I have some chicken and chips. I went up to the shop, says Brandon there. Solid. And also we have got the what and how do you think the Moana will go in the first half, says Ed. I think they're going to have their better half for the first half than they will for the second one. Punavai, I think also they brought in Punavai, and I assume they've got someone else off the bench, perhaps of that one. And also Moana Pasifika had a challenge last year, but this year it's gone, says Dwabs. And also I just finished going to my school. I'm in Australia, so I just finished 50 minutes ago. It's 3:52 p.m. So currently, I guess that's the thing. It's actually only just after school for you guys in Australia for this first game. We've got 3 games, though, that are coming tonight. The first of which, Moana Pasifika versus the Crusaders. The second of which being Fiji and Drua versus the Rebels. And then the Western Force are going to be going up against the Reds in the later stage. I love your videos, says Noah Smith. Appreciate you, mate. And I know that you are an avid supporter of the Crusaders, so it's going to be interesting to see how it does end up going for yourself. And also, I'm going to tune out tonight. Sorry, going to have a listen to ACC. Enjoy your stream, mate, says Jake Lacey. So we will see you later on. And also kick off in 6 minutes, surely. So they have got a total of around 10 minutes till they will be kicking off. And my gut's telling me the first try going to be in the first 5 minutes, says Ed. And also I'm going on a holiday if everything goes my way this weekend, says Aiden. See, that's not what we want to hear, because we know that it's probably not going to go your way and you are going to lose your money again, unfortunately. But that is gambling. That is the risk. And also you heard that Todd Marsh, Hamish says Nathan Sim. I did indeed. A little bit earlier on in the day, but currently they are just showing the changes on the bench. I actually see that it's going to be Pole at number 18 with Tamaiti Williams now out there, and then also they have got their Finau as number 23. Okay, so the team sheet has changed quite a bit, because they did originally have Fletcher Null in the props, but now they have switched it out, and that's going to be for Abraham Paul instead, and also who's going to open the winning campaign later, Rebels or Fiji and Drua. I feel like even though the Fiji and Drua are underdogs, the Rebels didn't really look that solid last week, although I assume they're going to fire back in this one as well. And also, it's this game at Dunedin. It is the last game, I believe, that we are going to be having in Dunedin that isn't a Dunedin home ground type thing, if that makes sense. So the Highlanders will still be playing in Dunedin, but everyone else, like later on tonight, or tomorrow. In fact, it will be. We've got a game at Sky Stadium. We've got a game at Eden Park as well, which is pretty awesome. And also your bank account must love you with all this money you're spending on rugby and cricket. And our Vahi for the Rebels, is he on the wing? Says Aiden. He is indeed, I believe. Wait, Vahi or Vahu? Vahi, am I thinking of the same guy? I'm thinking of a different man, maybe. I'm thinking of the Western Force player, possibly. So I might have them all muddled up at this stage. And what day do you video come out about what you said on Discord, says Brandon? So that will probably be a Monday or Tuesday one with Norm Maxwell. We did film it this morning. So we'll still need a little bit of time to be able to edit it. But currently they are showing Sakopi Kipu and George Bower, a little bit of a face-to-face battle that we will see in that front row. Very similar beards, to be fair. Also very similar builds for themselves. 114 matches, though, or 140, in fact, it was. And Shoya has said, hey, remember me as well. Welcome into the live stream. Hope you're doing well. And Vahi for the Rebels, is he on the wing? And also, well, they're playing just down the street. And damn, I want to go watch. And oh, Jesus says to us there, I wish that we were allowed some sort of crowd at these games, but for some reason, I mean, eventually I think they will end up having crowds, I assume, because we've got the All Blacks taking on Argentina, was one that was announced recently. And also not another dating talk. It says, Dwebs, we normally get a few, I'll be honest, but now looking through at the table, while we have got a little bit of a chance, as you can see there, the Brumbies sitting at the top of the bunch with 8 points differential, a plus 45. Crusaders sitting in second. They are also on 9 points, followed by the Reds. The Waratahs, they were able to get themselves the losing bonus points. Same with the Western Force, which is why they are sitting a little bit further up than the other sides who have been able to get themselves their wins. The Blues also getting that losing bonus point with a points difference of -1. So currently in Moana Pasifika, they have not played a game, so that keeps them in ninth just for now. We'll have to wait and see where they end up after this one. The games that are taking place tomorrow, the Blues taking on the Chiefs is the first game. These are all in New Zealand time. By the way, Hurricanes versus Highlanders at 7:05, and then the Brumbies, they are going to be there at 9:45 taking on the Waratahs. That's actually 3 home games in a row for the Brumbies, so they will be very lucky side, and they'll be trying to get out of it with all of their wins. And also we have got there is Lahore injured. And it says Nazi. Not sure who that is, to be honest. I feel like if you give me a little bit more context, I might be able to work it out, but I'm not too sure at this stage. And also, I remember the one back then, as I says, Dubs. And also, do you say what I want you to say, says Brandon there. I did ask one of your questions. We were running a little bit low on time, though, so I only got through one of them. And also, I watched full South Africa versus New Zealand test match with you, says Indian Vlogger. You did indeed for the test match of the cricket. We have got the Pakistan versus Australia test match coming up. That will be on Sunday onwards that we will be covering that one. But currently they are giving their predictions for what the score is going to be in this game, I assume. Okay, Kieran's gone pretty basic. He's gone 13 plus. So is he. Okay, they're not allowed to go too specific, I guess, for themselves. And I have to go, says, no, we will see you later on, mate. Thank you very much for tuning in. Currently, Isaiah Punavai, he would not have been ready to be in that starting lineup, but because of late changes, it does mean that that is what they have had to do currently for the Moana Pasifika side. I don't believe they've had any late changes for themselves, but it is McLeod at 12. Then at number 13, they have got Isaiah Punavai, and then the rest of the players are going to be relatively the same. Abraham Poll comes off the bench, and that was something that wasn't originally going to be taking place. So I assume a bit of an injury for Fletcher Null there for why he is missing. And also, sorry, says Niall Smith, no worries at all, mate. And also, so many Tasman players in both squads, says Nathan Sim. Yeah, it's a Tasman reunion out there at the moment. Like, you look at the Crusaders, they have probably got, I want to say they've got at least 4 Tasman players thinking about it, including their captain, Quinton Strange, and their Moana Pasifika. They have got quite a few of the Tasman players themselves. In fact, now we are going to be showing the starting lineups for both of these sides. Once again, Ezekiel Lindenmouth, Latero Tole, and Sakopi Kepu. They will be the front row for this match. Mike McKee and Samuel Slade make up the lock. Solomoni Funaki, Alamanda Matanga, and then Henry Stowers going to be there at number 8. Enery at 9 with Lincoln McClutchy, represents Hawke's Bay at number 10, alongside his teammate Danny Tawala. So they will have nice chemistry already heading into this match. Levi Amua, Tasman representative, at 13. Naria Fama'ai and Tima Whaiana Nuku make up the 2 wingers. And then it will be William Havili be slotting in there at fullback. Looking through the Crusaders, a couple late changes from this picture that I have got here. George Bower, Brody McAllister, and Ollie Jaeger, they will still be the front row. Mitchell Dunshay, Quinton Strange as the locks. And then the loose forward trio, Ethan Blackadder, Tom Christie, and Pablo Matera. Then looking through at the back line, Teitara Tahuri Arangi at number 9, with number 10 being Simon Hickey. Dallas McLeod is at 12 still, but Lista Whainau Nuku, I should say, is not there at 13 anymore. Instead, it will be Isaiah Punavai does get to start for himself at number 13. Then George Bridge, Kinina they are still the two wingers for this matchup. Che Waihaki sitting there at 15, and then that's the wrong button. And then for the benches, I should say, a couple other changes. Fletcher no longer there, so that is for Abraham Polly, does make his way into the side. And then also down here, rather than Isaiah Punavai, it is going to instead be, who did they have? I'm trying to remember at the moment. They're showing the fullback. I will let you guys know in a very short moment who it is going to be at number 23. But then for the Moana Pasifika side, unchanged from what they did announce, with Christian Lealiafano, Jonathan Tamatine, and Finian Nisi being those three who will be slotting in as the backline. Also, Jack Lamb, another player to mention because he is going to be dangerous for this one. I heard that Tupava is playing 6 for the Chiefs when he is a lock. That is true. And I'm not sure whether or not that's something to do with maybe an all-black selector in the ear of the Chiefs, or whether that is just to kind of fill in for an injury or something along those lines. I've got a friend in my class that is the cousin of Ethan Blackadder, and also Finau, that is the name that we are after. Edna Finau is going to get a good opportunity come off the bench. And I know less about rugby, so I can't understand anything. But yeah, I will see you back on Sunday for Pakistan versus Australia test match. So we will see you there, and should hopefully be a nicely set test match by that date that we are going to be coming live from the Kiwi Lads channel. We've got plenty of live streams coming this weekend, and it's even more next weekend with the URC Six Nations, everything else getting back underway for that one. Currently this weekend, I believe we've also got Gallagher Premiership and Curry Cup games that are taking place, although we probably won't be covering too many of them just with the time zones of what is going to be happening in terms of Super Rugby, with the early game tomorrow starting at 4:35 p.m. New Zealand time. But currently this game will be kicking off in only 3 minutes time. Lincoln McClutchy, he will be excited for this huge opportunity for him to start at number 10 for Moana Pasifika. They've got Christian Lealiafano off the bench, of course, but currently it's going to be so important for him to be able to set up that backline. Hello, fellow athletes, and Hamish. Oh, brutal. And also, I've put my cricket gear away and pulled on the rugby boots, says Joshua, and also doing the Warriors versus Dragons, says Nazi Williams. When is that one taking place, Nazi Williams? Do let me know, because I know that if it isn't overlapping with Super Rugby, there is a chance that we can end up doing it. Is the game today, says Easy, I assume that is, and yes, it is. It is going to be taking place in only 3 minutes' time. Moana Pasifika making their way out onto the field alongside the Crusaders, led by Quinton Strain. First game of the season they were able to win at the Crusaders, and that was they actually won against the Hurricanes, and then they won against the Highlanders, and that was 34 points to 19 for their last game. I thought it was tomorrow, says Easy. I mean, it's not tomorrow, but we have got 3 more games that are taking place tomorrow. Blues versus Chiefs should be an absolute classic matchup. Hurricanes versus Highlanders, and then Brumbies taking on the Waratahs. But at the moment, Kinina Holo, he's only got 1 cap to his name, but he has also got that last name of Waisaki Naholo, or that's his full name of his brother. He's got the Naholo last name, is what I meant to say. We know how strong those boys are. He will be trying to run over the top. Crusaders on top, baby. And they're from easy, but currently Moana Pasifika, they've had 2 games postponed. This will be their very first matchup. We've only seen a little glimpse of what they can do in preseason. And also, you're doing all 3 rugby games tonight, says the Nov Mum. We are indeed. Every single one of them. We'll be back for next game. Fiji and Drua taking on the Rebels. Game after that, Western Force taking on the Reds. And we will be covering both of those games. I think that last match, I don't know. It's hard to pick which game I'm most excited for. This game is going to be a pretty awesome one. Fiji and Drua versus Rebels, I think, will be a very intriguing contest because we never quite know what way that one will go. And then also that last game, the Western Force almost coming in as favourites up against the Reds. That's huge for them. So that should be a very exciting and enthralling contest. Is that a real word? That sounds like a word, so I'm going with it. Enthralling. It's what that is currently going to be for that game. Enthralling. What does that even mean? We have got there, what does Waisaki Naholo play? He plays rugby, of course. He's out on the wing, but his brother Kenny Naholo, also a winger, but Waisaki Naholo nowhere to be seen for this game. I'm sure that he's with the squad, possibly looking on at his brother getting a good opportunity. Speaking of brothers, Tima Whainanoku, his brother Lester, not going to be playing in this match, so that is a big blow for the Crusaders late, although they have filled that gap nicely with Isaiah Punavai coming off the bench instead. In fact, coming off the bench onto the field for the starting lineup, and then instead they have got a different man who will be coming off the bench in Finau. We have got there. Good evening, everyone, in there from Sebastian. Welcome into Livestream I. Hope you're doing well. Currently, we are only a couple minutes away from the kickoff of this match. Moana Pasifika, their first game of the Super Rugby Pacific season, and they will be up against the Crusaders. I'm very hyped up at the moment for all of the matches we have got coming up. We've got 3 in a row, 6 hours of talking. I can't think of a better way spending a Friday night other than the fact that afterwards I will have some sort of, I'm sure, lovely meal, probably pizza, which is a very nice meal, of course. But currently the Crusaders, do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who's going to score the first try of this matchup. And also history here says Nazi Williams exactly right. The first game for Moana Pasifika in Super Rugby. We did see it a little while ago for the Fijian draw. Of course, Moana Pasifika, they were going to get their opportunity in the first week also, but then the 2 postponed games meant that they were missing out. And also, hey, bro, Showcase says, hey, Peter, welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing well today. And currently, is it still a heat wave in South Africa? And is it still raining in Australia? Those are my 2 questions for the weather report. Apparently, do let me know, ladies and gentlemen. And I mean, Sebastian, are you still pretty much inside of ice? Because Romania is probably something about -15, isn't it? Somewhere along those lines. But now, James Dolman, Marcus Playle, and then also Fraser Hannon with Chris Hart on the TMO. And also Love says late show there, but we are currently ready to go in France. 3 in the world ranking, says Max. I did see they made a little bit of a leap for themselves, which is great to see that they are going up. And don't show the game, but why? Or don't show the game, but why you don't show the game, as well, says Easy. So pretty much it is down to copyright. Pretty much any match footage or audio can get you taken straight off YouTube. We actually saw it. We were talking about it last week. Another YouTuber who did post highlights of Super Rugby, their channel's completely gone now. They had about 10,000 subscribers wiped clean just because they posted some highlights. And also, let's go Crusaders up the boys, says Izzy. And now we are underway, ladies and gentlemen. First game for Moana Pasifika, and it's going to be Lincoln McClutchy there. Does kick it downfield. He doesn't find touch with it now, which does mean it's going to be the opportunity for the quick step and Che Faiaki. Be able to go into contact on the halfway line. Currently now passing it back across Simon Hickey. Flat ball straight to Pablo Matera, driven backwards. Actually playing 8 for this match. Ball popping out the sides. Triple T passes it off to George Bridge. Currently the Crusaders sitting only about 40 metres out from their line. Nice backline movement, looking like it's opening up. Isaiah Punavai dragged down by, I believe it was Sakopi Kepu, the big captain of Moana Pasifika. Good crash ball from George Bauer. Still 40 metres out, though, trying to get the turnover, not able to. Now going back, it looked like Simon Hickey was going to be kicking this one this time. Now it's gone up 40 metres out from the line, taken very nicely there. And now Moana Pasifika, they have got the possession for themselves. And a first few touches for a lot of these players in their Super Rugby careers. It's going to be Stowers, like a McClutchy now back across. And I believe that is going to be Latero Tole. And I hope he loses all his money in there. And there says, I really want George Bridge to score for Aiden's sake. I'm doubtful. And there says Sebastian. Currently now they're for my eye looking for the touchline, and that one does find touch, and that is our first stoppage. Snow, ice, or cold ice. My only inquiry is our beers haven't turned into polar bears yet. It's a frozen paradise, says Sebastian, and also, yeah, true, you're smart. That's why I love you, bro. Says Easy there. And 3 games of rugby tonight there are indeed. And also there are so many new players. I'm wondering, not disrespecting the players, but wonder if the standard is diluted, says Joshua. I don't know. I feel like Super Rugby is like the perfect opportunity for these guys from Moana Pasifika to really shine, because they've been in the Bunnings NBC and they are the standouts of their sides. They haven't just put together any random players. They are very good in the New Zealand domestic competition. They know the style of Super Rugby almost already. So that is why I am hopeful for a decent season from Moana Pasifika. Of course, preseason didn't quite go their way. It's going to be the white ball now out to Kini Naholo, who is literally just a ball of muscle on the 22 now. Dragged down by Tima Whaina Nuku. Now looking to the short side. No, instead going long. George Bauer back out to Punavai. Tries to step, but he is tackled by Sakopi Kepu. Currently, both sides at a stalemate. It's a penalty. Penalty? Stalemate. It's a penalty is what I was trying to say. I couldn't say T's for a second there because of triple T. Tetara Tahuri. I think you're probably saying too many of them in a sentence, but it's going to be the penalty to the Crusaders now. And looking forward to your commentary, bro, says Joshua. And also, yeah, George Bridge as well. And can you hear massive bangs? I see as what Hamish Spencer was trying to say. I was going to say, can you massive bangs? Sounds like something completely different, which I'm sure you're not interested in for Sebastian's. I guess it sounds like something else. I won't say what it sounds like, but I'm sure it's not what you mean. Currently now, I believe they will be taking on the 3 points here straight out in front. And it will be Simon Hickey lining up this one. So pretty much Richie Moonga going to be coming off the bench in the later stages. And also Nazi Williams has got the haha. And then, yeah, George Bridge as well. So there's Nazi Williams. Currently now, he's missed. Simon Hickey has missed. That is not what I was expecting for that one. I thought that was going straight down the middle. More than likely, that is not the case, though, here. I'm going to move the game over to straight ahead of me so that my face is slightly more straight. And also, to be honest, I prefer answering the initial questions, says Sebastian. Latero Tale, I guess, getting away with giving away that penalty. Ethan Blackadder trying to grow back that mullet, but it looks like he's had a bit of a haircut at some stage recently. And also, awesome pronunciation of the Pacifica and Māori name, Samish. And there says Joshua. And I think that is because of the Bunnings NBC, because we have spent so much time watching these guys develop, like, just completely with their games. It's going to be nicely done. Almost held up. No, going to be wrestled down there by Danny Tawala. It looks completely different without the headgear on. It's a counter ruck, and I believe Inari just a little knock on the ground, and he's actually up against his old Crusaders teammates here. Okay, there's no one there protecting you, so they are allowed to go through for the ball is the kind of, I guess you could say the description. And can you do Super W? And there says Hamish says Hamish Spencer, I should say. Do they have it in New Zealand? Like, what do you guys watch it on in Australia? Because they don't actually have the games for us in kind of New Zealand television, unfortunately. So unless there's like a subscription service, I don't think I'll be able to watch those games, sadly. And I agree, Josh. And there says Nazi Williams. We're currently 45 metres out, and the Crusaders are going to have their scrum feed. The first scrum of the day. This one will be an interesting one. Luckily for us, at this point in time, we've got contested scrums. Of course, France versus Italy was not quite, that wasn't the game either. It was Ireland versus Italy, wasn't it? I'm also not saying you shouldn't be able to pronounce it well, as well, just saying as well, says Nazi Williams. And yeah, I know that at the very start, my pronunciations were all over the place. Like some of the names weren't rolling off the tongue. I remember trying to say Lester Whainānuku. I had to give him the nickname Lester in my old rugby videos because I just couldn't get that last name out. And now there's a Lester Whainānuku, there's a Tima Whainānuku. Only one of them is playing due to injury. And that was Lester Whainānuku is out due to injury, which is a shame because he is in some very good form at the moment. So hopefully it is nothing too serious and he can continue. And bro, what's the score? At this stage, we are sitting 0-0 at this point in time. And that is due to, the score in the Super W. Are they going at the moment? I think they've actually got games on, don't they? For the Super W, I almost called it. I don't know why my tongue wants to get in the way today. I'm trying to move it in a way that doesn't allow it to get weird. But now Tatara Tehuria Rangi, Simon Hickey went straight through his hands, bounces back to Punafai though. They are still going to have this ball. That wasn't a sentence advantage now, and your Fijian name pronunciation is pretty spot on too. Says Holy Hamster. I'll be honest, the Fijian names I still struggle with a little bit. There's still a few that don't quite roll off the tongue, but we'll get in there slowly. And I think having Fijian Brewer will be a great opportunity to be able to get it right. So currently the Force versus the Reds is a Super W game that has taken place, and that will be on Friday at 9:35. So that's actually coming up very soon. And then Rebels versus Fijiana Drua team tomorrow at 6:30, and then Brumbies versus Waratahs women at 7:15. Those are the games that we have got. But currently the Crusaders now, like they are going to be going for their classic rolling maul, which was seen so often for this Crusaders 4-pack. Pablo Matera at number 8 for this game. Going to be exciting to see what he can do now that he is slotting into number 8. He can play 6, I should say. He can play 8 as well. But for this game, I believe they've decided to risk Cullen Grace. He didn't really have the best performance last week. Gave away a couple of penalties. So I think that's why they've decided to go with Matera. And also with the fact that Ethan Blackadder is back, that is a huge one to have. But now the rolling maul opening up here for the Crusaders. 15 metres out, make that 10 because they are marching forward at a walking pace at the moment. Now it's been slowed down a little bit. That looks like Fletcher Newell actually starting this match. So I believe Ollie Jaeger would be the player who has gone. And now it's a flat ball. Che Whaiaki not able to take the catch. They have said that it's gone backwards. Now George Bridge looking for the corner. Going to be tackled hard by Levi Amuo. Tries to wrestle him to the ground. It's bouncing back on the side of Moana Pasifika. And they will be going back for the scrum. And also, Bri, why are you talking to a camera while sitting down on a chair? That's a brilliant question. And when you really deep dive into it, there's not a really good answer for it as well. I just found out Artie and Julian and Gareth Evans and Britt Evans are the same brothers in the same team. And there says Max Scotto, and also Hamish being one of those guys. Says Nazi there. And also we have got there, let's get our thumbs up for Kiwi lads. I'm about to sneeze, unfortunately. Please don't sneeze. No, we're good. I want you watch a guy talking to a camera while sitting down on a chair. Says Sebastian, that's an even better question. One of my eyes is watering. All of a sudden I was about to sneeze. Now I'm not going to sneeze, and I think I'm fine, but I'm not really fine. That sounded like really deep. I am completely fine, other than the fact that I feel like I'm going to sneeze. 910 kgs for the Moana Pasifika pack weight compared to the Crusaders, 901. As I'm not sure, says Amish Spencer. Although I will say, Kiwi Lads Studio coming very soon. We've actually got, I guess we've got some of the stuff, the props and everything organised for a set that we are setting up at some stage soon. But George Bridge now on the halfway line, fires it back across the Che. Fiaki got Kanina Holo with him, decides to take contact and set Henry Stowers straight back up to his feet. It's a penalty against him, though. Or too long. It's pretty unlucky. I think Henry Stowers just said, watch the replay. I think he felt he was pretty good there, because you love it, mate. And that's why we're here every single week. Says Sebastian, you guys are here at all hours of the night, no matter rain or shine, day or night, snow or not snow. What's the opposite of snow? A drought? No, not really. A hot wind? Hot winds are never pleasant, depending on how hot they are, that is. Like anything over a 35-degree wind is just not nice. And like they've said, very poor decision from James Dolman there. I thought it was completely fine, like the way that he went over the ball, but he said that his hands were down first. It's why Henry Stowers is saying watch the replay, and now the Crusaders in a brilliant position on the field, and this could be dangerous for them here. Serious question, why is there no crowd? Due to restrictions in New Zealand, I believe that is why they haven't been able to have the crowd. But now that they're getting rid of the bio bubble, maybe they will have a decent chance. But currently now the Crusaders only a couple metres out. Te Taroa Tahuri Rangi, cross to Kanina Holo. It's going to be held up. And you just hope that Moana Pasifika can defend this, because theoretically they should have had a penalty about 35 metres out. And FX on the screen, of course, that is the Moana Pasifika main sponsor that they have got. Have you said what I want you to say? And there says Brandon, I tried my best. Overall, at Oslo, though, bad and good. Coke and warm snow and unsnow. And there, did it bounce free? Oh, they're going back for another penalty to the Crusaders. This is going to cause a lot of fatigue and also extra pressure that Moana Pasifika could have avoided at this stage. But currently 5 metres out. I believe Danny Tuala just a little bit offside there, which is why he has been penalised. But currently 11 minutes into this game, and we haven't had a point yet, which is pretty impressive for Moana Pasifika. And also cold, I'm suing autocorrect. And there, yes, autocorrect can have a shocker at times. It's worse when you know what you want to say and you've never said the word that it autocorrects to, and you were closer to the word you were trying to say, and it just decides, hey, you have this random word that you've never said before in your phone, but we think that it's the one that you want, even though it doesn't make any sense in the context. Now another rolling maul here for the Crusaders. This one's well set. And they are only going to be a couple metres out now. Brody McAllister at the back, going to be piercing his way through. That was actually brilliantly done by Moana Pasifika. The ball stays in, and it's a scrum feed for Moana Pasifika. Brilliant defence for the rolling maul. I believe it was Sam Slade who got straight in there, got his hands on the ball, and decided that that one was going to be his. Well done by the Samoan representative, Samuel Slade. Currently, I believe it was, who was the big hit? Who was it? I think it was Alamanda Matanga who got in there, and also Tima Whaina Nuku, who stopped it from being able to really roll its way forward. Currently, Sakopi Kepu, 140 matches for him. That knee looks like it is causing him a few issues at this current point in time, so we will have a bit of a stoppage. But 12 minutes in, 0-0 at this point in time. So only scored 5 tries in his 141 matches. It's his first match ever for Moana Pasifika in a Super Rugby Pacific official match. Of course, they had the preseason up against the Chiefs. Didn't go their way, but this game currently is going a lot better. 28 tackles made so far from Moana Pasifika, but they've only missed the one. Crusaders have only had to make 6 tackles. They've missed none. Currently, Crusaders 86% possession as well. Time in opposition 22, 2 minutes 15, and territory of 84%. So it's fair to say they should have some points on the board by now. They've conceded 4 penalties, Moana Pasifika. They've now got the scrum feed. This one, it is going to be a very big test for them. Currently only a few metres out from their line. Is that Brodie McAllister? He looks like he's grown more hair if it is. Is it Brodie McAllister? It looks like Brodie McAllister. Maybe he just hasn't gone and got a haircut for a while. I remember him having short hair a couple of weeks ago, but fair play, he is actually still him. Or it is him on the team sheet anyway. For myself, it might be completely different though, because they've still got Lester Whainā Nuku. They aren't exactly like, let's backtrack this guy's preferences. He likes Netflix, rugby streams, and cricket streams. Surely he meant Coke. This gentleman is thinking about Coke. Autocorrect him into the assist, Sebastian. Currently, Henry Stowers, he's a beast. Playing for the Brumbies last year in Super Rugby. And now he's got a new challenge ahead of him where he does get to battle it out on the field for Moana Pasifika. And that's the thing. If they do well, these are the guys that will be remembered as the first ever squad, the first ever side, and they will be able to write history for themselves. The first side to get a win, the first player to score a try even. Could be coming up very soon here, depending on where they go. But currently only 5 metres out from their line. It's probably not right on this phase. Could be coming up in the future. That's a big push from the Crusaders. Ball bouncing out the back. Henry Stowers doing very well. Keep that on the side of Moana Pasifika. Now it will be Enery looking to kick this one up and long. Does end up finding the touchline. Kenny Naholo not able to take the throw quickly because of it. It is a great exit from Enery. And now 38 metres out. Moana Pasifika, they will have to try and steal this one in the lineup because the Crusaders, their back line is lethal. They've got George Bridge way out on the wing. But then again, who doesn't? And there's Sebastian. Yeah. Wait, thinking about Coke, what? But currently now Ethan Blackadder. He's going to be there 40 metres out. Te Tara Tahuri Arangi goes to the short side out to Fletcher Null. Big hit there on Mitchell. Dunche actually dropped the ball and Moana Pasifika stealing this one. Is this game rigged? Says League Zone. Who towards? Crusaders or Moana Pasifika? Do let me know. But currently now driving forward once again here. Tima Whainā Nuku Enery. Firing it back. It's very nicely done by the Crusaders. Be able to keep on defending. It's an advantage though against George Bauer for not rolling away. Now selling the dummy going himself here for William Havili. Would have been playing up against his brother perhaps in the backyard many times. Doesn't get to play up against him in this match. Levi Amua now wrestled down. And that is a battle we'll get to see later on in the season. Asafa Amua versus Levi Amua. And a great run there. Straight through Lincoln McClutchy. Ball on the inside. Enery gets it. Great last-ditch tackle there by Ethan Blackett. It had to be Mainaria for my pops up. Now Levi Amua 10 metres out. Stepping through a couple more Crusaders players. Still 5 metres out now, Enery. One more on the outside. Drawing past Moana Pasifika. Score the first try of the match. And it is the number 6 who was able to get over the line. And the crowd / the 10 players for Moana Pasifika have gone absolutely nuts for that one. And it was Solomone Funaki who did score it. And also, all right, says Novmum. Solomone Funaki. I mentioned about the fact that they'll be able to write their own history. That is a brilliant try to score in Moana Pasifika. Take the lead now. Pacifica, but it was that magic from Lincoln McClutchy. Why no Super Rugby team has signed him recently, I have no idea. So he's got a huge amount of talent. And now Solomone Funaki has scored the first try of the match. How many people would have predicted that? 14 minutes in, and it is going to be the first try of the match for Moana Pasifika. And they have now taken the lead in Chur, and Crusaders are bad in there. Well, here we go. And they're from Sebastian. But currently, I mean, it's certainly a try and a half there for Moana Pasifika. And that doesn't light up a Friday night. Don't know what will. The Crusaders, we've seen them battle hard before, though. They have got plenty of time to ever go back in. And also good stuff from the South Auckland team. And also Moana Pasifika game on, says Joshua there as well. And she says Nazi Banel. Lincoln McClutchy, the man who set up that try, now gets the opportunity to try and convert. But EarthX, it is the sponsor of Moana Pasifika. They did reveal it a little bit earlier on in the week, due to the fact that they did not really, he hasn't really struck that one too nicely, Lincoln McClutchy. And also Aiden's heart must be weakening. And there's Sebastian there. He did mention if he does end up winning, he's going to get to go on a holiday. If he does end up losing, he probably won't have a holiday for a little while, I would assume. But hopefully that won't be the case, of course. But now Solomone Funaki scoring the first try of the Super Rugby Pacific competition for Moana Pasifika. Taken nicely by Henry Stowers, who now drives straight back at the line. Good carry forward from Moana Pasifika. Is this a scripted game of rugby, says Caleb? No, I wouldn't think so. Normally, like, Yeah, normally you're not allowed to do that. So I assume you're saying it's scripted because Moana Pasifika are playing well, I assume? Or because of the penalty earlier on that the Crusaders got that they shouldn't have. Maybe that one. Do let me know. And currently now Latero Tale and did expect Moana to score the first try. Or did or didn't expect Moana to score the first try. I think you said did, didn't you? Earlier on, but now Latero Tale 5 meters out. It's going to be going for this line out throw. Currently, there's a little bit of sun coming in at Forsyth Barr. It's a nice enough evening for a bit of rugby. Looks like they are saying to open up there for the gap. James Dolman, he's not too happy with the separation between the two players. So Kobe Kiefer, he wasn't watching there. He was asking the referee, and the man just threw it anyway. Latero Tale was like, I'm not waiting for our captain. I'm just going to go now. And now Henry kicks it downfield once again, finding touch with a good clearance. And about 27 meters out now, it is going to be the line-out throw for Moana Pasifika. And yeah, this is a rugby version of pro wrestling. One quick question. If you would be kind, what the hell are you talking about? And also, I bet Moana plus 34.5, so I'm enjoying the start so far. Says Lamont, it's probably a good shout overall because preseason is always going to be a tougher one for them. And at the end of the day, they've had a couple weeks to be able to, I guess, develop with the players that are left. Ethan Blackadder back up to his feet, popping up like he is a jack in the box. Currently now going back to Uriarangi and gives it off to Fletcher. Null trying to get the leg drive going. A couple more Moana Pasifika players that are dragged down the big man now out the back line. Dallas McLeod trying to step. Good low tackle. It's a knock on as well. Like a McClutchy. I think it was a double knock on there, and it is going to be going back for this round. No, because the Crusaders should have like 3 tries, says Caleb there. I mean, it's just great defense from Moana Pasifika, to be honest. Like, I was expecting a rapid-fire start from the Crusaders, but Moana Pasifika defensively, I would say, have actually almost looked like the strongest side. They've had less line breaks against them at this point in time, but the Crusaders, we know how strong they are throughout a season of rugby, and I would say second half is when they're really going to come alive. And what team do you support the most in Super Rugby Hamish, says Joshua? See, I live halfway in between the Highlanders and the Crusaders for location in the island, but I don't know whether or not I do support them the most. I like the Hurricane players, or like the Hurricanes kit more than likely. And then the Blues kit's very nice as well. So I think I base it off the kits, but I love watching all the New Zealand players and also the Australian players. I pretty much just love rugby. I've just realised a bit Moana to win 50-0. Pray for me. As I said, I enjoy a surprise or an upset, especially when you're walking in as a neutral, says Sebastian there. And also too much integrity in those players on the field for any fake stuff. As I says, Nazi, yeah. Like, the thing is, if you were like to a rugby player, hey, mate, like, you got to play bad on purpose. Like, he'd probably drop you then and there. Like, you'd just be insulted. And the fact that you think he's going to go out there and not just play with 110%. A good answer, bro, says Joshua. And also, people probably underestimate Moana Pasifika, says Max. And yeah, at this stage, like, that's the thing. After watching the preseason game, I think people assumed that it was going to be a little bit the same as that, but they've still got some very talented players. Of course, this game is very early, but I don't think many expected Moana Pasifika to be the first team to score. William Harvey now puts this one up, and also reckon this game is rigged or what? It is not rigged. The Crusaders would not accept a bribe to lose to Moana Pasifika. Still early on. That's going to be a 50-22. Is that rigged? I don't think so. Great kick there from Kenny Naholo. And it's going to be the 50-22, and also go Crusaders. Here's Reed Nichols. So currently now 15 meters out from the line. They are going to have themselves the rolling maul, and this is getting out of hand. I think every single person comes in, sees the fact that Moana Pasifika is winning, thinks straight away, oh, someone's accepted a bribe. Like, Razor wouldn't give up his chance to do a break dance just to try and make a little bit of extra coin in the pocket. He can go to France to do that. They are giving it out like it is confectionery, but now currently sitting about 10 meters out now. And have you been watching the cricket? I did see it a little bit earlier on for Moana Pasifika. Oh, they're not playing Pakistan versus Australia. It did look all right from what I saw. Tatara Uriarangi now going back across. Jay Faiaki needed to offload. Does find it back to Triple T. And also now going back to Pablo Matera. Currently now it's still got this ball 20 meters out. George Bauer takes contact. Big hit on him. And I believe it was Sam Slade. And also, man, who was starting at one, Ezekiel Lindenmouth plays for Counties Manukau. Another Bunnings NBC, Kitty Naholo getting those big legs driving. Currently 10 meters out, almost turned over by NRE. Triple T now goes back, rush defense. Simon Hickey dragged down, drops the ball again. The Crusaders, that's about the fourth one Oh, it's play on. Okay, they've said it's actually back off blue, so they're saying it was stripped, so everyone kind of stood still, and now the referee said, you know what, just keep on going, boys, for a little moment. And also now 5 meters out, Triple T going flat to Isaiah Punavai. Currently still continuing to build up bases. This is a very good position for the Crusaders to be. I just bit my tongue. That's unfortunate. Triple T now going back across to Bauer. Wrestled down backwards. Ball pops out again. I think the Crusaders were possibly rubbing their hands with Vaseline before this game got underway because everyone seems to be having the ball slip out of their hands at this point. Now Levi Amua going back. Henry kicks it downfield, and that one is not going to find the touchline. And that is going to continue going. We will read the chat in a very short moment. And now we have got Che Waiaki on the halfway line, dragged down beautifully. 2 players. That one I could understand if it was going to be turned over. Yes, it was. And now once again on the halfway line, Moana Pasifika have got this one. Lincoln McClutchy goes for the kick behind. It does get charged down, misses the ball completely there. And it does just go into touch, and it will be the Moana Pasifika line out throw. We have got there in the chat, this is getting out of hand, Sebastian, and also Mathurius, right? Whoever wears blue, Crusaders start. And there says Nathan Simon, also Saturday, tomorrow, Chiefs. Yes, they are indeed, and surely it's rigged. I've never seen them play like this before. Says Caleb, on holidays are always better when you pay for them with bribe money, says Sebastian, how in the world, and not even... Oh, and also we have got the high Kiwi lads. How are you, mate? I'm doing very well currently. Moana Pasifika are doing very well for themselves as well, and they have played one game. What do you mean? And there says Hamish Spencer. Oh, that one. But currently, Moana Pasifika, they're doing very nicely. That's a loose ball, though, over the top, and now claimed by Brony McAllister, running straight at Levi Amua, but driven almost backwards was Blackadder, which is something you don't say too often. Isaiah Punavai now decides to take the contact, tackled by Tawala. And also, I believe it was the try scorer, Funaki. Now, pushing the ball back, rush defense on Simon Hickey, possibly a little bit high. Moana Pasifika straight on the ball. So the turnover, no. James Dolman says play on for now. Now, Fiaki once again has got this one. That looked too high. No, it's all right. Looked quite high. That one, that looked like a flat ball. Once again, now Ethan Blackadder carrying it forward. Reed has been sick yesterday, so hopefully Reed is going to be feeling better soon. Currently out the back line, Quinton Strange. They're wrestled to the ground. Currently 7 phases into this one as well for the Crusaders. Null gets a carry. Rush defense from Alamanda Matanga. Does make it nicely. Ball still available for the Crusaders, who haven't really made too many meters as of yet. Good inside ball now. George Bridge, he's got the man on the outside. The draw and pass. Dunshea takes it. And that is going to be the first try of the match for the Crusaders. He's done well to hang on to that one with the slippery hands. The Crusaders have been shown. But Mitchell Dunshea, 3rd in his career, and also BS try ref is rigged. And there says Amy Spencer, it did look debatably flat / quite close. But I think for now, they did have the referee right there. He decided that it did go backwards. So as that, and also he dropped it over the line. Wait, we're going to need to see a replay. I wasn't looking at that. I was looking at the pass. One moment. George Bridge on the outside to Dunshea. No, he didn't have any separation there. And also I've been talking to George, mate, and there says Max, we have indeed. He came around twice in the last couple of days, which has been pretty awesome. And he is helping me set up the new studio for the Kiwi lads. Although the live streams, that's the thing, with the live streams, you guys don't really know where I am. I could be in Mexico, and you guys wouldn't know because I got the green screen. But we've got one for videos coming up that is going to be a new studio we are slowly trying to make. Dunshea scores the try in the 23rd minute also of this match. There we go. We will go like that. We will go like that. That kick struck it nicely, Simon Hickey, and it does go straight over. So now the score is going to be 7 points to the Crusaders and 5 to Moana Pasifika. And also, mate, it's clear as daylight. He dropped it. Are we talking about this game or a different one? Harrison also said that the Crusaders just scored, says Lamont. They did indeed. They did get themselves the full 7 points available. And also Lee likes boys, as says Ollie Wilson. Let Lee do what he wants. I feel like he probably doesn't like you just telling everyone, though, perhaps. And also Troy says Sebastian, also Moana Pasifika doing pretty good, says Ollie Amster there. Currently now, Moana Pasifika, they are 7 points to 5 down, but this is still a very good start to the match. And as long as they can keep up with that pace that the Crusaders will be bringing, we're already seeing Latero Tole looking a little bit tired at this point in time. Currently kicked off long. Has taken nicely. Charged down by Tima Whainā Nuku. And currently, the Moana Pasifika side are playing like a team that want to win their first game. That's a brilliant strike of the ball, though, from, I believe it was Simon Hickey. Now, in fact, it was Isaiah Punavai to end up kicking that one way downfield. Brilliant kick from him. But Chief Fuyaki went for the charge down. It smacked Tima Whainānuku right in the mush, and he said, nah, didn't even feel it. Just a little slap on the jaw. And they almost were able to charge it down, but now 40 metres out from the line, it's going to be Moana Pasifika, who look like they're having a little bit of extra time trying to listen to the call here. And Kiwiland, you, me, or you and Reed and Keelan should go to the pub. And there says Ollie, stolen by Pablo Matera in the breakdown, or in the line out, in fact. Now 40 metres out for the Crusaders. They are going to have another good attacking opportunity. Te Taroa Huriarangi now firing the ball back once again. Now back, Triple T goes to Simon Hickey, Dallas McLeod on the outside. Isaiah Punavai now out to Kanina Holo. You do not want to give that man any space. Great fend there on Tima Whainānuku. Kicks it in behind. It's going to be going in the in-goal area. And Enery decides to put the ball down, so it's a goal line dropout now. Let's go, Moana. And there says Richardson. You're starting this match extremely well for themselves, Moana Pasifika. And we have to wait and see whether or not they will continue in such emphatic fashion. They've been looking good throughout the early stages of this matchup, and as long as they don't get too tired, that will be the big thing for them. If they do end up fatiguing too early in this game without getting to halftime, maybe the last 5 minutes or so will be the Crusaders of this first half. Crusaders will bounce back easily on the second half. Moana will feel the weight as well, says Orlando. Exactly right. And with this being their first game, they probably, their match fitness, you can only do so much off the field. Definitely when you've got players recovering from testing positive as well. You can only get so much fitness going for yourself, which is why we will see a few tired bodies in the second half. And that is where the Crusaders are normally the most dangerous, but now currently sitting 35 metres out. It's going to be Triple T once again going back across to Brody McAllister. Good clean out from Null. Now good ball across to Che Fiaki. Handslide up though, and Levi and Moore almost able to turn it over. I think that was a knock on the ground, was it? No. Referee has said it's fine. So now the Crusaders are once again going to be going back across. George Bridge now looking for the gap. Great low tackle on him by Enery. And currently now seems like the Crusaders, they are just starting to really find their rhythm at phase play. Okay, they've got another advantage now for the Crusaders, but offside. Te Taroa Huriarangi goes back across. Isaiah Punavai. The midfield tackle by Samuel Slade, slightly getting driven backwards, but still on the side of the Crusaders here. Try and guess how old Corey is. I would say 17, just because that's a nice round number. And that's how many points I think we'll have in the first half. That is going to be a penalty going back for the Crusaders. I reckon Moana Pasifika has a lot better chemistry than the Fijian Drua. Fijian Drua just needs more experience, says Holy Hamster. And I guess a good way of looking at it for the Fijian Drua compared to Moana Pasifika is Moana Pasifika. In fact, I can do a little bit of something, not really fancy, but I can just show you guys the lineup. Like we look through at this side, pretty much Enery, Hawke's Bay, Lincoln McClutchy, Hawke's Bay, Danny Tuala, Hawke's Bay, Levi Moa, Tasman, Naria Whamoai out on that side, Hawke's Bay, and then you've also got William Havili. Actually, Naria Whamoai, no, I'm thinking of Evito. He is actually Hawke's Bay, and then William Havili, also Tasman, and then Tima Whainānuku Manawatu. So your whole back line almost plays for two sides, which does make it a lot easier to gel and quick succession type thing. Whereas for a team like Fijian Drua, like we're seeing Charika Davita get added over there, and that is actually going to be the only Tasman player, I believe, in that Fijian Drua side. Now currently 10 metres out, and will be the Crusaders once again going for the rolling maul. Looks like it's being well defended, though, by Moana Pasifika. They've been told to use it once here. I believe Brody McAllister at the back will be trying to get this one going for Huriarangi. Now passing it back to Dallas McLeod, trying to pierce through the line, tackle well. Danny Tuala joining the breakdown, not quite able to turn it over now. Kanina Holo, that man is a hard man to put down, but brilliantly done by Levi Moore and Naria Whamai. Step on the wing from George Bridge. Getting close to the line, always getting bent over in a very awkward fashion. That cannot be good for the spine. Brilliant run forward from Ethan Blackadder. Gets the ball down, and he does end up scoring the try, or does he? They're going to be going upstairs. And also, it'd be 3 weeks before Livestream was off. How long do we got? Says Brandon. So Livestream, if we are talking about a copyright strike Livestream for yourself, Brandon, you're probably looking at unfortunately, you're looking at another 11 weeks. Currently, I believe they have given that one as a try, and it is going to be Ethan Blackadder was able to score it. We will go like that. We will go like that. And Ethan Blackadder scores the try in the 29th minute. It now gives the Crusaders a little bit more of a lead as well. We'll click this button. We'll click this button. We'll click that button as well, just because we can. We'll go like this. Go like this, this, The game's back up and I got the chat. Right. We have got there go Moana, mate. Moana Pasifika Horsepower. And there says Leo L. And also Crusaders are on now. Going to be tough for South Auckland, says Mark Morris. And also we have got his Blackadder at 6 today. He is indeed, which is why Pablo Matera has slotted in at number 8, which will be interesting to see how he goes off the back of the scrum when he does get the opportunities. But Simon Hickey lining up this one. He was unlucky with injuries recently. That one's gone straight down the middle, though. A very nice kick from Simon Hickey, now making the score 14 points to the Crusaders and 5 to Moana Pasifika. But currently, I would say the thing with Simon Hickey is going to be if he can remain uninjured, because he's been injured a lot recently. He did actually miss the whole season for the Hurricanes, I believe he signed for. He was at the Blues originally, then he signed for the Hurricanes, injured the whole season, didn't get to play. Crusaders said, you know what, come on down to Canterbury. We'll give you a little bit of a run round when Moana. And also, they got Brett Cameron at the moment, or have they got Fergus Burke? I keep on confusing those two. Fergus Burke and also Brett Cameron, for some reason, I keep on thinking are almost the same person, but their names are different, but I don't seem to call them by their different names. Currently now, Crusaders inside of their 22, and Plants vs. Zombies gets the best updates. And it says Brandon currently now Triple T passing it back across to George Bauer. To Dunshay, one of the try scorers for the Crusaders, perhaps not the last either. Dallas McLeod, high on him there by Sakopi Kipu. The referee's been very lenient with the high shots throughout this one. I believe it's because his arm slightly went down afterwards that he said that it is going to be all right. Now, Tahuri Orangi once again goes back to Hickey. Does put boot the ball right down to the 22 and currently going to be in the hands of Lincoln McClutchy. What can he do with it? He puts a high. William Havili going to be chasing this one. No one saw that, but Mitchell Dunshay, a little bit of interesting tactics to try and block that man from running through. The referee was looking the other way, though. So I guess if you're going to do it, you got to do it while the rest not looking. Pablo Matera with the big fend. Ball on the inside to Isaiah Punavai. Well, it's caught around the neck. And also, that's right, as long as you're still a loose forward, it's only Baden Kerr that preps to play as props for Fiji's next game. Says Sebastian there. Of course, that man just seems to be playing everywhere. Danny Tawala, good carry forward for him once again. Almost stolen, but still on the side of Moana Pasifika. 32 minutes through this game. Like a McClutchy short ball straight to Latero Talai. Oh. Okay, that has slipped out of the hands very badly for Enery. And it is a forward pass, and it becomes a scrum. And also, we can be making our own game modes. And there says Brandon, so that's a little bit fancy for Plants vs. Zombies. That's the thing. Even though I haven't really seen too much of that game, they seem to always be bringing out updates. And also, Hitman has said hi from Sri Lanka. Welcome into the live stream, mate. Hope you're doing well. And currently, we have got a little bit of cricket coming on Sunday, which will be Pakistan versus Australia. But I will let you guys know what the score is currently in that test match. And also, India versus Sri Lanka currently playing for the test as well. One moment. We'll click this button. We are waiting for the scrum reset. So at this point in time, there's a lot of cricket on. That is for sure. India sitting 113 for 2. And then Pakistan at this point in time are sitting at 78 for none. Good start to the match for Pakistan. And hopefully Moana Pasifika teams make New Zealand AU rugby stronger, says Stephen. And I think they will, because they just bring, like I think I was saying it about the Fiji and Drua side as well. They bring the passion and the heart that you just can't really teach. Like they're just built to be like giving it the 110%, always going to be to those breakdowns when they need to. And they bring such a physical aspect to Super Rugby. That's why all these guys are the top of the top in the Bunnings NPC. The players who aren't signed for Super Rugby teams originally, such as a Lincoln McClutchy, he is phenomenal and he really gets the opportunity to shine for this matchup. And we've been talking about Hawke's Bay. And Hitman comes in. Do you see what's happening here? Sebastian, of course, paying homage to Hitman 2. And hey, Hamish, how are you doing today, mate? I hope you are having a good one today. I am indeed. Been a very exciting day. That's going to be the penalty advantage to the Crusaders now. Alamanda Matanga trying to line up Pablo Matera 40 meters out currently for the Crusaders. Triple T now. Across the Fletcher. No, I don't know where that yawns come from. We don't want too many of them. Now, George Bauer. In fact, it's going to be Kenny Naholo. Runs through, taken nicely by Havili, and it is going back for the initial penalty. These 2 weeks of the game mode are going to get features. And there says Brandon. But yeah, earlier on today, I will mention that video with Norm Maxwell, ex-Crusader and All Black. It will be coming out probably next Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, depending on what day it does all get edited. It is going to be about 40 minutes long, though. We did chat for a very long time. for his birthday Q&A. Also just chatted off the kind of video recording as well. What time was the first try, Hamish? Says Carlos. So the first try of the match, I believe, if I'm not wrong, does it have it down the bottom? Funaki, 14th minute, he was able to score it in, and it was actually a Moana Pasifika try for that first one. Currently, since then, though, the Crusaders have been able to get themselves 2 unanswered tries. Now going into Pablo Matera, taking it nicely, breaking off the back for Tom Christie, and now Triple T going back to Kenny Naholo, ball popping out, and it's now going to be back available for Moana Pasifika, almost turned over by Kenny Naholo and Blackadder. Started to get in there as well, but now passing it back across. Lincoln McClutchy sells the dummy, now ball on the inside. This is nicely done, although they ran into their own player. So I believe they're going back for the original knock on. And also, do you answer my question? What time of the video, says Brandon? So I believe it was about midway through. I couldn't tell you an exact time because I haven't edited it as of yet, but it was your question about who's going to be able to win the Rugby World Cup. And also, who scored the 2 Crusaders tries, Hamish, says Carlos. They are Dunshea and also Blackadder. The 2 are coming across the bottom at the moment. Both forward tries for the Crusaders. And in fact, all 3 tries in this match have been scored by forwards. I wonder who will be the first back to really break through. I'm thinking it might be along the lines, I want to say Kenny Naholo, but he just put down that ball, so I feel like maybe not him. So instead, I'll go George Bridge as the first back to score a try. That's unfortunate. Don't know why I'm yawning. It's been anything but I guess you could say anything but a stagnant game at this point in time. It's been back and forth between the two sides. Moana Pasifika competing pretty well up against the Crusaders. That one's moving all over the place. And do you say Brandon? I do mention Brandon. And also pretty much everyone who read out the questions or had the questions, I do say your name's in there as well. Currently 37 minutes, 40 seconds of this first half. And also 2. And there says Brandon. 2 with the tries, I assume, and also what you rank the teams. And there says Carlos, I mean, at this stage, Crusaders are going to be top 4 at least, I feel. I think definitely quarterfinals. The way that Moana Pasifika are playing, who knows, maybe they might have a top 8 position as well. That's going to be a free kick, is it? No. Okay. The referee at the moment just having a bit of a talking to the front row. Own your balance. Stop messing around. Pretty much the call from James Dolman in politer terms as well. Or as the way he put it, he was just pretty much like, you guys have a responsibility. Sakopi Kepa's going, I've played 141 matches. I don't think it's my fault. George Bowers going, it's his fault. Everyone's just blaming each other. So there's probably going to be some uppercuts thrown in this. Now, imagine if that was still what happened. I mean, we've got a couple stories about that on that video with Norm, how it's changed. Like, it used to be as a lock, your job was to throw an uppercut. Of course, you can't do that now without the cameras on you. And who got the penalty, Hamish, as Richie Mo'unga, the kicker tonight. So the penalty was Simon Hickey, who has been able to nail his kick so far. Well, actually missed the kick earlier on, I should say. Currently now, Moana Pasifika going to be there. Henry Stowers also making some post-contact meter, channeling his inner Valentini there. And now it will be Enery puts the kick up high, almost charged down by Dunshea. He's got extremely long arms, I should say. Now bounce pass from Kenny Naholo out to Che Fiaki, out to George Bridge, now trying to pierce through the gap, but your rib cage is going to be sore after a game up against Moana Pasifika. Now out the back line, Kenny Naholo trying to step through Levi Mua, able to drag him down. Atima Whaina Nuku helps out as well. Currently now Hickey goes back to Bauer, almost able to pierce the gap. Enery straight on the ball. Didn't win the penalty though. He thought that he had. Now good attack and run from Simon Hickey. 40 metres out. I will read the chat in a very short moment, but I do appreciate every single one of you being here. George Bowers put the ball down. And I believe it's going back for the scrum. And also New Zealand trying to chase 260 versus the West Indies, says Bob Job. And also Hamish, India versus Sri Lanka and Australia versus Pakistan Test Series going on live. We do live commentary on any of them in any days, says Coding. So I believe the last 3 days of Pakistan versus Australia, we will be doing the commentary for. And loving the current French 15. Excited for the next game against Wales. They've got a good side, that is for sure. And also Big Norm is such a good sport. Love him. It's part of our community. It is very awesome. And that's the thing. Like, we did film from, I guess, probably chatted for 15 minutes beforehand, filmed for an hour, and then chatted for another hour afterwards type thing. So even though it was about midnight over there for him, he was still willing to chat all about everything. And some of the stories he has got that, well, some of them we weren't going to be able to put in, so he decided to save those for not on the video, but some interesting stories in there. That is for sure. And also go Moana as our cheers from Samoa, who says, Lima, so welcome into the live stream, mate. I hope you're doing fantastic and hope you are enjoying Moana Pasifika competing up against the CRUSADERS. Like a McClutchy now getting this one. Levi Moa, he's just a beast. The way that he runs. And Moana Pasifika, that is one thing that they're certainly going to be able to bring to the table is that elusive style of just crash ball, getting up, going again. Lincoln McClutchy there. Currently 45 metres out, 30 seconds left in this first half. Going back across, and it will be Samuel Slade now with his carry. And the last thing the Crusaders want to do here is give away a penalty on the halfway line. Or slippery ball. I don't know what's happening at the moment, but that slipped out of the hands of William Harvey. Maybe someone did have the Vaseline out there. Kicked him high by Triple T, which now will mean advantage is over. They have been able to take it back. Maybe not the best play there. The ball's going to be bouncing out on the side of the Crusaders now. Tatarata Uriarangi gives it off to Kanina Holo. Does step nicely done. He's knocked the ball on again, Kanina Holo. And that is one thing I would say that he has seemed to have brought over from his Taranaki days is he drops the ball more times than he holds it, unfortunately, Kanina Holo. But that is just something that he will want to improve on. Morning average all the way from South Africa. I'll go with the team Crusaders, as says Benny there. And also sounds like Moana Pasifika are trying hard, but they won't be able to beat the Crusaders, says Scarlett and Quitchy Hamish. When is your next GTA live stream? That's a great question. Not too sure. It will probably actually be out in the new studio, maybe. Are we end up doing it? Do you want to go and get some money, says Brandon? Do you want to go and get some money? Are we robbing a bank, Brandon? Is that what you're saying? Because if so, probably shouldn't. You know? As tempting as it is, might pass on that one. And also New Zealand 123 for 3, says Bob Jobs there. And also, great to see you, buddy. I missed you in the Kiwi Lads chat. Our situation in Russia as war going on. Is Russia and Ukraine? What is the situation? Says Coding there. Because Sebastian from Romania probably doesn't want to think about that at this current point in time. But that is halftime now. And that is going to be the end of the first half. 14 points to the Crusaders and 5 to the Moana Pasifika and Kanina Holo, I believe that is from Nazi. But currently a good first half from Moana Pasifika. Still right in this contest. We will get some stats to do with this matchup. It is coming up in a very short moment. Not just this one, of course. We will mention the other two that are coming up for tonight. It is Fiji and Druid taking on the Rebels, and then the Western Force is going to be taking on, they're taking on the Reds, and that one is Super Chat. And then it says, Brandon, also, you got me cracking up with the Robin bank statement. Loves the way you kindly decline, says Lamont there. And also, thank you, Coding. I'm all right. We're helping our Ukrainian brothers by providing them shelter and provisions during these tough times. At least we can do, or the least we can do for our neighbours, says Sebastian there as well. But currently, some stats to do with this one. And a Super Chat, says Brandon. I mean, if you do want a Super Chat, only if you are able to Super Chat, though. That's the thing. I don't have it as a necessary at all on the channel. It's completely, I guess, optional for that one. Even just to like on the live stream, that does enough. You know, just a little like on it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And we will be doing plenty more of these live streams. Hi as well, says Garrett. Welcome into the live stream, mate. And Canes or Highlanders, says Max. I'm going the Canes. I think from what I saw in their game up against the Blues, at home as well, they're going to be decent in that game. They're probably going to lose by like 20 points, and I'll jinx them big time and probably have to apologize to them. But Hurricanes, for me, the way that they played in that first game and also with the side that they've selected, I think they can do well in that game. But the Highlanders are no easy side to beat either. Yes, they've lost both their games, but they'll be hungry to get their first win. Could be just around the corner. But currently some stats to do with this match. Meters carried, 194 for the Crusaders compared to the 82 of the Moana Pasifika side. We have got Crusaders from Garrett there. Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who will score the first try of the second half, Blues or Chiefs, says Max. That one's a lot tougher. I'm thinking in my head Blues, but I think it's going to be the Chiefs. Don't know. But the Blues at Eden Park are very hard to beat. But then that's without a crowd as well, so it's just grass in it. So that one's going to be decided by less than 7, I think. Defenders beat them for this game. Currently, Crusaders 16, Moana Pasifika 7. Clean breaks 1 and 1. And also the offloads, Moana Pasifika actually having a few more, sitting on 4 compared to the 3. The 2 tries, though, for the Crusaders. They do need 3 or more tries than your opponent to be able to get themselves a bonus point. And this is a bonus point that I'm sure they would have been loving to get. Currently, defenders In fact, they've missed 11 tackles there, Moana Pasifika, less than the Crusaders for this one. 12 missed by the Crusaders, and they've only made 42 compared to the 107 made by Moana Pasifika and Brumbies or Tars. I'll go with the Brumbies for that one, but the Tars are doing very nicely. I think the Blues will just sneak up Bowden Barrett with some Taranaki magic in the later stages. That is true. He is back, isn't he? Who else they got back? Anyone else? Dalton Park. Oh, yeah. that sounded like a slightly sexual, oh yeah, but Dalton Pavali back in a breakdown is going to be very good for the Blues in that matchup. So yeah, I think with those two, I think I sneak it with that as well. Good for you, Hamish. I want to see your next meeting with Big R Sports, says Brandon. I'm not too sure. Overall, I don't know whether or not the podcast is continuing at this point. I haven't really heard too much about it, so I guess it's more of a wait and see. But currently 76% possession for the Crusaders. The big thing there is the Crusaders with 76% of the possession, a lot of it inside of the half of Moana Pasifika, including we're looking at actual big numbers here. You're looking at Moana Pasifika having 1.1% of the territory inside of their own 22 compared to the 34.1% that the Crusaders had inside of their 22. And then in the next 22 meters or so, it's actually another 36.4% for the Crusaders. So they've spent pretty much every minute of this game inside of the half of Moana Pasifika. And as George Mate says, Max Scottle, he's doing very well. I got him some magnets and he was entertained for hours. True story. Pretty much I got him, because his birthday is coming up and I was going to get it as like a Kiwi lad's little, I guess, accessory type thing, but also something keep morale high, on the camps. The camps, that sounds bad. In the lounge, pretty much, on the camp chairs. Almost we might be out on there for a moment, but pretty much it is the case of he loves magnets. I don't know what it is about them, but he sits for hours just playing with magnets. So I got him some, and he spent like a good hour over there just playing with them. I spent about half an hour over there as well. They were quite entertaining little things. I tried to make a cube. It didn't work. It turned into a cube with a weird, bump on the side. And I said, do you drive? What license do you have? Says Max Scott. I've got my restrictor. I can go for my full. I just haven't got around to it yet, seeing as I do sleep during the day and live stream during the night. So I haven't really, I guess, thought about going for it as of yet, but I can go for it when I do, I guess, want to type thing, but just haven't really got a chance to as of yet, unfortunately. But currently, Moana Pasifika, you see the excitement on their face when they did end up scoring the first try of the match. Then from there, Dunshea was able to answer back straight away with a try of his own for the Crusaders. And then Ethan Blackadder scoring the next try in this match. George Bridge extremely close to the try line, got bent over in a weird kind of angle. He kind of ended up, when they try and make you touch your toes, like in school, like for PE or something like that, and trying to increase your flexibility and someone's pushing on your back. That's kind of what George Bridge got, except just it was a big Samoan boy pushing down on him. So it would have been a little bit more force, I think. I always hate waking up and realizing that I'm in the wrong lane in this Sebastian. Yep. I guess, what side of the road do they drive on, Sebastian, in Romania? Or is it just a free-for-all? Because I know in some countries, it's the bigger the vehicle, you give way to those big vehicles. Like, if you've got yourself a little tiny Mini, you're pretty much an ant on the road. And go Matera, says Carlos there. He's been going very nicely so far for himself. Pablo Matera off the back of the scrum. The Crusaders will pull away now, says Max. I think for the first 10 minutes or so, we're going to see Moana Pasifika once again compete, but it will be as soon as you end up losing that little bit of stamina that they've regained, it is going to be hard. On the right side, not the Commonwealth. And there's Sebastian. So yeah, you guys are opposite to us, aren't you? That's the thing. I don't know if I'm the only one who does it, but if you guys are from New Zealand or Australia or anything like that, when you play a game on Xbox, do you drive on the wrong side of the road thinking that you're on your side because you live in New Zealand and then realize within 10 seconds, hang on, everyone's coming towards me, so I got to switch over? I always do that. Forza Horizon 3 is good because it's actually our side of the road, so you can get away with it. But currently, Kini Naholo, 9 carries, 31 meters gained, 4 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks, although a stat that they don't have there is his handling errors. He's actually dropped the ball about 4 times so far, but that is one that they haven't decided to highlight, which is probably fair enough. So it's a pretty brutal one if you do look at it there. But Lincoln McClutchy, currently the most running meters for Moana Pasifika, actually only 15 for himself. And then what team is kicking off now? It will be the Moana Pasifika side will be kicking off for this one. And then Waiaki, 57 meters carried for himself there in that first half of rugby. I'm just looking through and seeing what standout performances we've had from players. So Kopi Kepu, 11 tackles. Solomoni Funaki, 12. 10 for Alamana Matanga, and then 10 for Danny Tawala. And then looking through at the Crusaders, not really a huge surprise there. That Ethan Blackadder is right up there for the tackling numbers alongside Tom Christie, although the tackling numbers are actually 4 and 5. So not as impressive as those Moana Pasifika numbers, but they've had a lot more of the ball. The Crusaders, so they haven't had to make too many tackles there. But anyone wondering what other games we have got going on later on tonight, Fiji and Drua, they will be taking on the Rebels. We are covering that game on the channel also. And alongside that, we have got another game coming a little bit later on, and that will be the Western Force versus the Reds. These are the games for tomorrow that will be taking place. So be sure, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and also leave a like on this live stream. But currently, I would say we're going to get, I'm going to say 4 more tries in the second half. Maybe it could be more. Could be sitting closer to 5 or 6, but I'm going to say 4. We had 3 in the first half. I think it's going to ramp up just a little bit more. But these are how the standings are sitting at the moment. Fiji and Drua and the Rebels, it's actually the bottom 2 teams going head-to-head here for the next game. So we'll be interested to see exactly how that one does play out for that matchup. I'm currently making sure, yes, I have got that next live stream set up, and I will make sure that it does let you guys know about it as soon as it does go live, because that is going to be starting at 9:30 p.m., but the game itself starting at 9:45 for that one. And also my first 10 minutes of Watch Dogs Legion, which is in London. I was surprised how I naturally drove on the left side. My brain processed the information quickly. Commonwealth, mate. And there's Sebastian. There you go. I guess the easier way to avoid accidents is to drive on the right side of the road. It gives you a little bit more of a chance of not crashing into other vehicles in video games. Although the big difference is video games, you can respawn, which I think is a good life lesson. We have got the eye. Can I get a shout out to you, Randall? Appreciate you being here, mate. Currently, we are sitting at halftime, but we are getting closer and closer to the second half, getting back underway. Also, we have the same with Forza Horizon 4 UK as well in there. But currently, we will go like this, and we will go like that. I'll just show you guys exactly who is going to be on the bench for these two sides in this matchup, although this isn't actually exactly who's going to be there, because we did see Fletcher Newell start this match, and because of that, it is Abraham Poll who will be coming off the bench. Also, another change is Isaiah Punavai. He is in the starting lineup, and replacing him, it is actually going to be, forgotten his name again. I keep on forgetting it, and I feel bad that I forget it every time. His name's not coming to me, unfortunately, and I don't think he's updated on the team sheet either, as coming out later on. One moment, we'll go like this. What we got, his name is Finau. It is Finau who is going to be there. How do I keep on forgetting Finau? I think it's because I'm thinking of Summer Penny Finau, but that is not who that is. There's a different Finau. Also coming off the bench for the Crusaders will be Richie Moonga. We'll be looking forward to getting his opportunity a little bit later on. Christian Laliafano, a lot of experience for him. Jonathan Tamatine, ex-Hurricanes player, going to be there coming off the bench. So it's going to be Hall versus Tamatine. Should be a very awesome battle in the later stage. And don't have to worry about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Despite being in England, there were fewer traffic rules in the medieval ages. And also, but in video games, think is no speed limits. Although it depends. A trucking simulator game, you're not allowed to speed, are you? Or at least, this is like terrible life advice, but you're not allowed to speed past the cameras. So make of that what you will in a truck simulator game. Of course, don't speed in real life, but in simulation games, as long as you feel like you'll somehow get away with it and you won't feel too guilty about it, I think it's all right. Like, I don't speed sometimes in GTA, which I feel like is just not that big of a, like, I'm not much of a rebel even in video games, believe it or not. Currently, Solomoni Funaki, the 1-try scorer for Moana Pasifika. Ethan Blackadder and Mitchell Dunshay both scoring themselves a try here. But no Scott Barrett, no Sam Whitelock, 2 big players that they don't have here. Cody Taylor, he is going to be coming off the bench in the later stages. As long as you drive better in real life than in GTA, you should be fine most of the time. And there's Sebastian also. Oh, yeah, Harrison. And hello, Harrison. How you going, mate? Currently, predictions for who's going to score the first try of the second half. Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen. been quite a long halftime, but we are just about to get back underway. And the next game of Super Rugby, it is going to be taking place at 9:45. So it's actually still another hour and 40 minutes away. There's going to be quite a break between these two games. But that is good. It does give us time to get our lineups up and ready to go for the next one. And also gives us time to get the new updated table, because we will be keeping you guys informed with the table all throughout the night of how it is changing. Jason Ryan at the moment, I think he's going to be mentioned in the handling errors, I would think, and Pablo Matera. My prediction says Sebastian, very good player. Extremely good player, and a huge signing for the Crusaders to be able to have him as well. Currently, Ethan Blackadder, I'm gonna go extremely optimistic here and say Ethan Blackadder picks up his second. That's a huge prediction, and I'm gonna go with it. Just see how it goes. I'm in opposition 22 though. 6 minutes and 3 for the Crusaders compared to the 45 seconds that Moana Pasifika have had inside of the 22 of the Crusaders. Yet in that visit, they were actually able to get themselves that try. I believe it was Lincoln McClutchy was able to really work well and also go hard Moana in there, but it looks like they've gone with the same lineup for the fullback for Moana Pasifika, and I assume the back line will be no different. Nauria for Moai, we didn't really get to see him too much in that game. Everything was going up the top side to Kini Naholo and Tima Whaiananuku's wing rather than the other way around, giving Nauria for Moai a bit of a run round. So maybe it will be the case in this half that he does get a bit of a battle going with the number 14, George Bridge, who we also didn't really see too much of, and also Danny Tuala is my prediction there from Max Cottle. Currently, though, Fletcher Nui was starting this match rather than Ollie Jaeger, who was supposed to be starting this one, but I believe due to injury, he is out, and also Lester Whaiananuku, due to injury, he was also ruled out of this contest, and instead Isaiah Punavai gets the slot in at 13. Don't know why we're yawning. I think it's still the lights. I always blame the lights, but I think it is the lights here. Currently now, Moana Pasifika, they will be kicking off this half. Get us back underway at Forsyth Barr Stadium. I believe the last game that doesn't involve the Highlanders that we will see at Forsyth Barr Stadium. Be kicked off now, going to that top side once again. And now George Bridge does get to take that one nicely, runs straight into Alamanda Matanga and gets driven backwards up to the 22 now for the Crusaders, though. Teitarotuirangi, I should say. Now firing it back across. 22 meters out, and it is going to be taken back. Don't know why I did that. I mean, a knock-on advantage against William Arvelli, and the ball popping out for the Crusaders. Turiarangi goes back across Simon Hickey, wide cut-out pass now out to Feihaki. Quite able to go through it, and it's actually the change being made already, and it's Cody Taylor now out on the field. He's smiling about it as well. But now it is going right back to that original one. And let's have a horse for dinner, go Moana. And there says Leo. And also we have got the, just made me yawn, says Max. I do apologize for that. Sometimes, that's the thing. I don't remember the science of why yawning yawns or makes other people yawn. It's just kind of weird, isn't it? When you think about it. Now that I see that Cody Taylor is out on the field, I think that he might be able to score himself a try. But currently, Moana Pasifika to win this game. I'm just checking the odds here. $31 they are currently playing, and they are only 9 points behind at this point in time. But the fourth try scorer of the match could be anyone, really, for these two sides. Currently now we have got the Hamish Bro. Good afternoon, says Vishal. Welcome into the live stream. I hope you're doing well. Currently, the Crusaders going to be sitting about 35 meters out from their own line. It's side shuffling here big time. It's going to be the advantage now for the Crusaders. Matera goes back to Simon Hickey, drawing pass out to Dallas McLeod, dragged down by Levi Amor. We have got there, where's Lester Whaiananuku? Rib injury or some sort of torso injury just before the game, I believe, has rolled him out. So instead, Isaiah Punavai is out there in the midfield, although there's not completely bad news in terms of the Whaiananuku family. Tima Whaiananuku out on the wing for Moana Pasifika. He is at number 14 for this matchup. Oh, we'll go like that. And we will go like that as well. I'm just checking all of the information that I need to know for this one, including the fact that the territory is still about 80% in favour of the Crusaders. That is insane to have it, and also have a line dude. And there says Nazi, have a line dude. Is that in a line out? I assume that isn't. Sorry, came back late. Today some work doing at home. Where is it all? And damn. And there says JW, another player that they're missing, Ollie Jaeger, but I assume you're probably more worried about Lisa Fai and Arnuku there. Due to the fact that he was coming off the hat-trick, that's going to be taken nicely. Te Taroa to Huri goes back across to Hickey now. Good crash ball from Ethan Blackadder, the big man. So almost gets to go again. Now Fletcher Null drawing past George Bridge on the outside. Doesn't quite link up with Cody Taylor there. Still available for them. Back Hickey now. Tom Christie carry on the 22 on stream. That can cause, or that can't cause any problems. Says Sebastian there now. Ethan Blackadder once again finding the offload to Hickey. And he's been very impressive in this game, Ethan Blackadder. He even joined that breakdown. He offloaded the ball, got back up to his feet, joined the next breakdown, and pretty much did the clean out. Now George Bridge selling the dummy, trying to go straight through. Brilliant low tackle, though, from Solomone Funaki. They've got another advantage here. Triple D almost able to go through. Now still 15 metres out. Latero Tolai at the moment. Looks like he is down. Pablo Matero drawing and passing now. Dallas McLeod. Good crash ball from the number 12, the inside centre. Teitaro Tuurioni. Simon Hickey now drawing past Pablo Matera. Does end up taking the contact there once again. Ethan Blackadder, he was calling for it on the outside and go Moana go. And there says Leo, and also still few work remain. But just 20 minutes to do that works enough. And there says Vishal, but currently, tell you what, Tom Christie almost considered going for the quick tap there, but I believe they will be kicking this one for the corner, and Cody Taylor will have a good opportunity try and get himself a rolling maul try. He's the perfect man to have it as well here, I would think. Currently, I am having a quick look at some information as well. So pretty much as it sits, it's still sitting at 31. Possession's actually 56% according to the TAB. I was just seeing what they had it compared to all my other ones, because I've got about 3 different sources. They have 3 different numbers for the possession. Yeah, line out, of course. And there says Nazi, and also we have got Hamish. Could you tell me more about the Super Rugby on-demand service? Is it worldwide? Do you have to pay for each individual game you want to watch? Says Sebastian. From what I have heard about it, it is kind of, you can lock in a season pass. I don't know whether or not they're doing individual. They're probably doing individual weekends, I would think, but I don't know whether or not they are doing kind of like you pay per game. It might be more of a you get all the games. It might be similar to the URC, though. I haven't actually had to look into it too much. Now it's going to be offloaded back. George Bridge driven back with big tackle on him. Trying to get straight on the ball now. Enery tries to get the penalty. Doesn't get it, though. And that is going to be the penalty. And it could be a yellow card here against Enery now. Okay, who's captain? Sagopi Kepu. You should know who captain is, James Dolman, by now. And also see how Moana's cardio plans out, says Nazi. And there, but yeah, I know that in New Zealand, I don't know whether or not we can actually buy it for the Super Rugby Pass one. Super Rugby Pass is a cool name. Is it called Super Rugby Pass? Quick tap. Nope. They weren't on the mark. Super Rugby Pass. Stream Rugby? No, that's Sky Sport. Do we have it here? Okay, I just got a heap of rugby things. Maybe I shouldn't put that. Season pass. How about that? Memberships for... No, I don't want to go to the games. I just want to watch them, please. Okay, maybe we can't do it in New Zealand by the looks of that. It's just decided that it doesn't like me. Now rolling forward here. Getting closer and closer. Who has got this ball in hand? I'm trying to look at who's got it in their hand. Who has it? It's going back. I think it's Pablo Matera who almost wants this one. Who's got it? It's gone down. Okay. It's not Ethan Blackadder. It's going to be Cody Taylor who does end up getting it. Cody Taylor there. We will go like that. And we will go like that. But Cody Taylor now scores that try for the Crusaders. That is going to be taking them up to 3 tries scored throughout this match. We'll go like that and like that as well. And again, you can do weekly, monthly, or yearly. I just do monthly, and there says no mum. Also, can you get it in New Zealand? And also says Mars in the vicinity of $100. I assume, yeah, I think it is, and like a Netflix subscription. Thinking of mum. And also, do you think Bridge will get a try? I'm not sure. He doesn't look overly active in this game so far. And also, nice, says Bobby there. And also, die for Moana, and also see how Moana's cardio pans out. And I feel like going back to that one as well, it's going to be tricky for them. That's a conversion from Simon Hickey. So now it does make the score a total of 21 points to 5 now for the Crusaders. And I says Bobby Harvey. Welcome into the live stream, mate. I hope you're doing well currently. If you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated you guys all being here for these live streams. I hope you have been and enjoying them as well. But currently, Ethan Blackadder and Pablo Matera and Tom Christie, the 3 loose forwards that the Crusaders have got, although I assume it's not too far away from seeing their first change, which will be Corey Kello. Who does he come on for, though? I don't know who I'd take him off, or I don't know who I'd take off. I guess you go maybe Christie or Blackadder. I guess it would have to be. And I'm new, says Bobby, so welcome in. And yeah, I hope you are doing very well. Currently on the 22 currently for the Crusaders. So they continue to try and build their way forward. Sam Molly on the field. That is for Latero Tole. Is making his way off. I don't understand anything about this game, but I'm learning, so please be nice. Says Bobby, no worries at all. I think that's the thing. We've got people of all experience when it comes to like kind of learning the game of rugby. And I think that's why like these live streams have been doing wonders for my like rugby knowledge. Like you learn so much from just everyone in the chat as well. Thrown in by Sam Molly, going to the back, taken beautifully by Levi Amua. Now continues to throw himself at the line. Henry now goes back. That's going to be the advantage for Ethan Blackadder, not rolling away quick enough now. Samuel Slade back across Narea for Ma'ai. Running it straight at George Bridge. Almost able to get the turnover there. Still got the advantage, though. Henry Stowers stepping off the foot. He is a phenomenal athlete, Henry Stowers, and he is the kind of player who seems like he will be able to go for the full 80. You got any questions, Bobby? Always feel free. Always ask away freely. It will help. And yeah, it's going to be a good run forward from Danny Tuala. I'm going to try and learn by forcing myself to watch the big game. And there says Bobby. And also Super Rugby's YouTube channel. I highly recommend checking that out, as it is going to be where you find all the highlights. Danny Tuala has stayed down at the moment, but it's good. Bit of draw and pass now. Down the wing, Solomoni Funaki didn't quite find the offload, and instead Isaiah Punavai able to clean that one up for the Crusaders. Still only 10 metres out from the line, though. Needed clearance. And Jay Fiaki is able to do just that, but it will only be about 22 metres out from the line. So pretty much the pressure is not completely gone for the Crusaders. But Danny Tuala, just trying to see what happens to him here. Oh, okay, I think it was maybe a leg injury or some sort. He might have gone and dragged down in an awkward angle, which may have created it. Now it's going straight through the hands of Alamana Matunga, but it went backwards now. That'll be nice footwork from Lincoln McClutchy. Didn't quite find the hands, but Inari able to pick it up. Now that's a knock on by Moana Pasifika, and we will be going back for another scrum feed to the Crusaders on the 22. Currently another 30 minutes left for this match. Then we have got Fiji and Drua. They will be taking on the Rebels in their upcoming fixture. Missed tackles now for Moana Pasifika is actually sitting 21, so a lot more in the second half. But both sides are sitting there at 83% for their tackle completion rate. Jeez, that's a stat and a half. 48 minutes it took for Moana Pasifika to get themselves their first penalty. That is huge for them at this point in the game. Currently now the Crusaders, they have got this one, and that they will be going for the scrum feed. I assume Pablo Matera might not be a terrible option off the back end. By the way, he's setting up. He is going to be running it. Yes, he does. Now passes it off to Richie Moonga, who is now back. And the Crusaders get Isaiah Punavai right near the touchline. He is going to be wrestled down. Bryn Hall now firing it back across. Good quick feet from Richie Moonga. Wasn't quite able to pierce his way through this Moana Pasifika defense. Dallas McLeod now on the front foot. Tima Whaina Nuku able to drag him down. Almost able to turn it over, pleading with the referee for a penalty for something there, but 45 out now from their own line. Bryn all around the side, piercing the gap nicely. Does get dragged down by his opposite number, Inari, and also hello, Bobby. And there says Lima there. That's going to be going down once again. And now Moana Pasifika. Is it a knock on or is it knocked backwards? They're saying it's knocked backwards. Tom Christie a little bit high with that tackle. James Dolman doesn't care. Okay, now it is going to be called as a high tackle. I was going to say that's about our fifth one that we've seen between the two sides today. And it's the only one that's actually been called. But Tom Christie is the man penalised for that one. Just going a little bit too high. But now Lincoln McClutchy kicking this one for the corner, perhaps. Currently the difference between these two sides, only 16 points. Oh, that's a great kick from Lincoln McClutchy. Now only 5 metres out from the line. I thought for a second it might have gone too long, but he did get it right. Because of it now, he is going to be rewarded with a line out. Only the 5 meters out now for his side. It'll be... Okay, Ethan Blackadder being replaced. Also, Tamaiti Williams making his way out on the field. Hello, Hamish says, Kevin, welcome into the live stream. I hope you're doing well. Sam Molly now going to be thrown in this one. Currently 29 meters back, or 29 minutes left, I should say. Cheers to all 100 people who tuned in. Be sure that the like button and subscribe to the channel. The whole Super Rugby action to be covered on the channel. It is indeed. That's going to be overthrown once again by Moana Pasifika, and because of it, they have given up the possession. It seems like a bit of a kick in the face to be able to kick it right into the corner, and then you do end up just losing that ball from the line out. But currently now on the halfway line, going to be taken nicely by William Harvey. Has a relatively quiet go. Sorry about that yawn. I seem to be yawning for fun. And also your scoreboard needs updating. Says, no, Mama, we'll see if it will behave itself. Hopefully it is still going. Yes, it is now. Not sure how long it took there. And welcome in, Kevin. And also go Moana goes, says Leo. And it's nice backline movement right for my very flat. Referee there on the touchline did call it as forward. And they are going to be going back for the Crusaders scrum. But do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, out of these two sides, I guess the big thing is, are they both going to be in the quarterfinals, or do we only see the Crusaders in the quarterfinals? Aaron Major at the moment seems like he's doing some pretty good work with his Moana Pasifika side, though. And also, hello, Sebastian. And also, they're struggling, says Bob Jobs. Yeah, the gas tank will be running on empty. It's how long they are willing to put up with that empty gas tank, though. That could be the difference between these two sides. Like, currently, the best thing for Moana Pasifika is scrums, so that they can have a bit of a spell. Because like we mentioned, it's only one penalty has actually gone the way of the Moana Pasifika boys so far. Christian Laliafano, he will be coming off the bench in the later stages for Lincoln McClutchy, I believe. That's a free kick there for the Crusaders. Second one, so it's a penalty now for pushing a little bit too early. I think this chair's getting too comfy for me. It's always a comfy chair. Unfortunately. Well, it's fortunate, but it's unfortunate as well, because it just seems to get comfy and comfy as the night goes on. Currently 8:22, we are going for another 6 hours, ladies and gentlemen. So if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, kick yourself, I almost said, but kick your feet back. Just chill out, watch a little bit of rugby, or listen to some commentary for it as well. But Super Rugby will be, I believe, the highlights will be about 8 minutes long. They normally go with. But now Richie Mo'unga passing the ball back once again to Isaiah Punavai. I believe that ball was knocked on, and now Moana Pasifika have been able to retain this ball back. Sam Molly, double knock on. We are going back. And what's said, Moana Pasifika look more likely to make it to the playoffs than Drua. So for any Drua fans, but Moana look better than I thought, says Sebastian. Yeah, they've been looking very strong at the moment, Moana Pasifika. Like, that's the thing. The preseason game, it was easy to say that maybe they wouldn't do too well overall. But I think even with, like, everything that has been going on for them, they still seem like they are going to be fighting here. Was that Levi Amua's mouthguard or his teeth? They're gold. I'm trying to wait to see if he puts in a mouthguard or whether that is his mouthguard. I think it's his mouthguard, I believe. And also Danny Tuala still having a little bit of injury concern there. And also, what time is it in New Zealand at the moment? We are currently sitting 8:24 p.m. So the last game of the night for Super Rugby, it is going to be finishing at 2 a.m. New Zealand time, roughly. So we are going to be covering this game, the next game, Fiji and Draw versus the Rebels, and then the game straight after that, and that is going to be the matchup that is taking place between the Western Force and the Reds. And I think that game's going to be an absolute cracker, that one, because both of those sides, like, it's probably the most evenly the match odds have been for those two. And also, we've got the A-Bro, just wanted to say, I respect the hustle. Glad to have found, just says Jacob McDonald. Thank you very much, mate. Hope you are keeping well. Did you enjoy the Six Nations the other night? Do let me know, because I know you did mention about it on the last live stream. What did you think of that uncontested scrum red card situation as well? I will get your opinion on that. And also, welcome in, Jacob. Love you, week, man. Says Sebastian. Also, this is the Crusaders, the pinnacle of this competition, but I can see them bringing the ref to someone like the Rebels or the Force, says Sebastian there. Currently now going to be available for Moana Pasifika. 40 out. Enery goes to the short side. Lincoln McClutchy, little chip and chase in the rear for Moai. Gets the bounce of the ball. No. Doesn't quite hang on to it, though. And Che Fiaki also having the knock on there. So it is going to be another scrum feed. And also, have they got the bonus point yet? The Crusaders says Max, they do not. They need one more try. It is 3 or more tries than your opponent. And anything less than a bonus point win here for the Crusaders, I would say they'll be quite disappointed with. Probably went into this game thinking that they were going to dominate and can't wait for France versus England. And yeah, the great news is it's only a couple of weeks away. We've got France versus Wales this next weekend, which for me, I mean, Wales would do Ireland a huge favour if they can win that one, and England as well, if they can somehow pull off that upset up against the French. But going to be easier said than done, that is for sure. Only 56 minutes in. Finney Anisi now gets his way out onto the field. Him and Danny Tuala, similar hairstyles, also similar dye in those hairstyles there. But currently a good backline for Moana Pasifika, made up of the best of the players who aren't in Super Rugby, and also for the Moana Pasifika boys. We have also got there the smirky face and the confused face from George. What's going on here, says George. Well, I'll tell you what, George, it's a closer game than anticipated, that is for sure. It was going to be Crusaders coming in as a team that you couldn't even put money on. Now, Brynall firing it back through the legs, decides to be a bit fancy. Does end up sitting up now for George Bridge, who's going to be trying to run it back. Does end up going down once again. It's good work from the Moana Pasifika defence. And also George with the 10 says Sebastian there. And George, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you enjoy those magnets? I did say about them earlier on. They are bloody brilliant, aren't they? Now, Brynall going back to Richie Moonga. Flat ball out to Cody Taylor, who is going to be wrestled down to the ground. Pablo Matera joining the breakdown. It is not the Mighty Satyrs winning. And there it says it was from George Meyer. That's gone high in the air, taken in the air there for Kenny Naholo. It's an awkward way to fall for David Arveli, or in fact, William Arveli, 7. Says George as well. There you go, New Zealand woman, 165 for 5, chasing 259. Certainly, or currently 36th over versus West Indies woman, says Chris Howe. So that's going to be a tricky one. Try and get themselves a win by the looks of it. Currently, Kenny Naholo and also William Harveli both staying down for a little bit of time. 7.5 or maybe 8. And there it says it was George Meyer. And also, yeah, man, actually loving the Six Nations this year. Never really gave him about it unless they played the All Blacks. But it's been good and nice to get a few names in the head now too, says Jacob McDonald. Exactly right. They went down to 13. Crazy bro ruined the game. But it is what it is, says Jacob. And also, but that uncontested scrum took me a while to get my head around it. Uncontested scrum means that the team has to drop a player. Is that right? It is indeed. And seeing as they had a red card already, says Jacob. Yeah, it was a shame because the 2 players that they took off were actually 2 of the best players in that game for them, I felt, up to that point. Pat Cummins and Nathan Lyon just working together to get the first wicket in that game up against Pakistan for the test match for anyone who is curious. Pakistan now, it was Shafiq who did end up going out on 44 of 105, and Pakistan 105 for 1 currently. Very impressive performance from Pakistan there. Currently now time is going to be back on. Into the back there, nicely done by Moana Pasifika. Now going for their own rolling maul, and they've looked good in the rolling maul defense. Can they end up scoring themselves a rolling maul of their own? Now, of course, I did mention about those backs being from Hawke's Bay. There's a few of those forwards also from the Magpies, and they do love themselves a rolling maul. Go Moana, go as well, says Leo there. Currently going to the short side. Henry sells the dummy, looking to link up. He does find the offload to Harveli. Now flicking it back to Lincoln McClutchy. Was that a knock on? Yes, it was. From Danny Tuala. And now once again, it's going to be the line out, the scrum feed for the Crusaders. We've seen a lot in this one, and the French ref was shocking, but it is what it is. The result would have been similar with good officiating as well, I think, says Sebastian there. And if anything, it just showed how much fight there was in Italy, which I know sounds weird to say when they had 50 points scored against them. But even though they had 13 for a start, they were going well with 15 versus 15. Then after that, they continued fighting, even though they knew the odds were against them and they didn't have much of a chance. They still made it hard for Ireland at times to be able to get over the line. And I feel like that's the one thing that Italy will take away from that match, is the fact that even though the odds were completely against them, they still showed up. They still tried to fight, still tried their best to get themselves some sort of decent score there. But they're showing Richie Moonga in the back line. That man is back. It is his first game of Super Rugby for 2022. Same with Cody Taylor, who is coming off the bench, and he is already out on the field, scoring himself a try already. Cody Taylor, that's going to be, once again, the scrum going up in the front row, and we will have ourselves a scrum reset. But currently 20 minutes left in this game. between the Crusaders and Moana Pasifika. I'll show you guys how the table is sitting currently as we sit. It is sitting like this. The Brumbies sitting in first on 9 points. Crusaders in second. They are also on 9 points, but the points differential 20 extra in favour of the Brumbies. The Reds sitting there on 8 points. Waratahs and Western Force both sharing the 6. Moana Pasifika, they can get themselves 1 or 2 more tries. They will actually be within the 7 and get themselves that bonus point, which could be huge for the later stages of the season. But the one thing that they will also want to make sure is that points differential doesn't go too much. It's going to be a penalty now, and I believe that's going to be to Moana Pasifika. Yes, it is. Only 10 minutes out to Mighty Williams, not too happy. And also one commentary on India versus Sri Lanka. Pretty much the reasoning behind that is a Sri Lankan YouTube channel. Anytime we try and do the live stream for a Sri Lankan game, copyright strike us and don't remove it. So pretty much they take our channel down for 2 weeks. So that's why we don't do Sri Lankan games anymore, unfortunately. I can keep you guys updated on what's happening in it, but pretty much, yeah, there's a channel in Sri Lanka who just decides to copyright strike everyone who tries to do the same game as him. Pretty much dirty tactics, but you know, it is what it is. And also here, at least the Italians show some fighting spirit. And there it says it was from Sakabula there. Currently 5 meters out for Moana Pasifika. Building phases very nicely. Alamanda Matanga now once again getting closer. That's going to be knocked on, though. Unfortunately, no, it's not. It's going back for the penalty originally. And also, this is the pinnacle of Southern Hemisphere Rugby, UPSC. We simply can't miss it. And there says Sebastian there as well. But currently, for that game, Sri Lanka, they are bowling first, and India is sitting 158 for 2 currently, and Pakistan versus Australia for their test match is sitting 105 for 1. So both teams actually scoring at a pretty quick rate at this point in time by the looks of it. But currently the Crusaders, they seem like their defense for the rolling maul is just as strong as their attack for a rolling maul. But Moana Pasifika not doing too badly either. It seems like, they are bringing Christian Leliafano on. That is going to be for the number 12 and Danny Tawala. So leaving Lincoln McClutchy out there for a little bit longer, which I do like because it does give him a little bit more time to have a run round in this matchup, seeing as this is actually their first game of the season. Now Moana Pasifika throwing the ball into the back, taken nicely by Samuel Slade. Rolling maul once again going to be set up, and Sam Molly has got this ball at the back now. Continuing now to drive forward for Moana Pasifika. Enery looking to the left-hand side, gives it off to Finney Anisi, facing back with Gerbro. Says Millie Toilet, welcome into the live stream, mate. And Enery once again goes back. Henry Stowers tackled hard. And now trying to contest in there were Corey Kello, I believe it would have been, and Gardner also getting involved for this one. Now going back across one more time for Moana Pasifika. They're straight out in front of the posts. Can they get over the line going back? No, it's dropped there once again, unfortunately. And it was a big mistake from the number 20, which does now mean that they are going to be on the defensive. He's missed a tackle as well. Who is that? That's actually Jack Lamb. I wouldn't have expected him to drop that ball that comfortably, or easily, I guess I should say. And also, this is the debut of Moana Pasifika in Super Rugby. We act as a welcoming committee, says Sebastian, and we nearly at 10K. We are indeed, and welcome in, bro. Hope you're well. Says Sebastian, that one's gone extremely high, taken nicely by Naria Fumai on the halfway line. Going back across to William Hartveli, who looks like he's running with lead in his boots, but he continues to keep on going as the Kiwi Lads, a channel with multiple lads, or just yourself, says Jacob. So pretty much it is myself, George, Daniel, and Isaac, who are, I guess, the other Kiwi Lads, although we haven't really had them on the videos too much recently. You've probably seen George the most out of any of them. Isaac does help out with a few of the behind-the-scenes, I guess, graphics and everything along those lines. And then Daniel has been in 2 videos. Now Finney Anisi going straight through, linking up nicely. Ball back out to Finney Anisi there, dragged down. Brilliant cover defense. I believe that was Dallas McLeod. No, it was George Bridge. The ball might have traveled forward. Now going to the short side. Big fend from Jack Lamb. Can Moana Pasifika get themselves over the line here one more time in this matchup? Henry Stowers once again continues to carry hard. Henry looking to the short side. And he does decide to find a Tima Whainanoku, get him driven sideways. Still in the field of play, though. And also, cheers, bro. I'm good. You says Millie Toilet. I hope Moana Pasifika get at least another try, says Novmum, and they might be just around the corner from at this stage. Now, Jack Lamb going back, and also points margin is not as big as I expected, says Riser. The big thing is, for the Crusaders to win this game by 13 plus was paying $1.01. And now Moana Pasifika, Lincoln McClutchy going for the cross kick. Has gone high. William Hartveli tries to line it up. It is going to be bouncing awkwardly. Richie Moang has to take it back, though, and now it will be a 5-meter scrum. And I think even at the start of this match, for the Crusaders to win by 1 to 12 was paying about $15, which just tells you how much people were expecting. Even now for the Crusaders to win by 1 to 12 is still paying $5.75, which is currently quite I guess you could say a low number for them. And yeah, all good so far. Trying to cope calmly with it happening around this part of the world. Says Sebastian, but currently kicking for the corner. Last 5 minutes position, 85%. Also $1.01. That's rude, man. Come on, man. And there says Jacob McDonald. Yeah, 101 for them. Currently it's paying $1.12, but at the start of the match for it to be paying $1.01 for 13 plus. And I always like to think everyone has a chance, especially in a comp like this. There's Jacob. It is now going to the back there once again to Samuel Slade. I think one thing is for sure, though, everyone can agree Moana Pasifika have brought the fight and they've brought their island flair to Super Rugby, and it's going to be exciting seeing what they can do in the future for their next few games. That's going to be kicked back by Dunshea, a little bit illegal, and that's going to be the penalty there. But it is the Crusaders. And there says Jacob McDonald and the bro. Jacob McDonald is here, says Smithy Doyle, and also especially after the Canes comeback last week, says Rises. Yeah, that was phenomenal from the Hurricanes, and they have got their game coming up against the Highlanders. The Chiefs have got the Blues for their game. They are both taking place tomorrow, followed by the Brumbies, and they are going to be taking on the Brumbies. Who are they taking on? It's not the Rebels. It's not the Western Force. It's not Fiji and Draw. It's not the Reds. It's literally the other side from Australia, whose name I cannot think of to save myself. Right, I'm going to have to look at the table. This is really bad. Why can't I think of this name? I'm going to look at it and just be so disappointed in myself. It is the Waratahs. How did I forget the Waratahs? That's not good. I need to remember the Waratahs. I think they're always the team that I forget, unfortunately for them, even though they've been around for a very long time. They're going all right as well. Brumbies are taking on Sunwolves as well. So Bingo Bango and the Waratahs. There's Rises, but currently now there's going to be, it's called as a scrum for the Crusaders. Not quite able to get themselves over the line once again. There, Pablo Matera having a bit of a cuddle with, I believe, that is, who's that? I'm trying to recognize him. I think he's one of the big props who've come off the bench. And also they are pretty forgettable in there, says Alice revealed. Although this season going all right so far for the Waratahs. I think they're sitting in about 4th, aren't they? As we currently sit for Moana Pasifika. Now for the Crusaders to win by 1 to 12 is paying $10. See how quickly it can change, ladies and gentlemen, for the odds. Moana to win this one by 1 to 12 is $41, which is a big old bet. Even for them just to win this game is $41. The draw is 61. Imagine a comeback draw here for Moana Pasifika. The thing is, it's still doable. They just need 2 converted try. Oh, no, they need more than that. They need a converted try and another few points. They probably can't get a draw now. Look at that. It's just going to be a little bit too tricky. And also, especially without Hooper, says Sebastian there. Yeah, I think he is definitely their big player. Hooper and Noah Quinita-Wasi. I don't think he is back yet, though. I think he had an injury. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are going to be covering every game of Super Rugby for not just this round, but every round of the competition. And anyone wondering what the games are next weekend, seeing as this is just our very first game, we will be covering all of these games next weekend as well. Waratahs versus Western Force, that is a Sunday game. There's both sides almost hiding, but Crusaders versus Chiefs, that will be a good one. Hurricanes, Moana Pasifika, also be exciting, and a rematch of the Trans-Tasman final between the Blues and the Highlanders. Fiji and Drill, they'll certainly bring the fight to the Reds in their game. They are all the games that are going to be taking place. We will be going back to that table throughout the whole rest of the night, though, so don't worry if you didn't quite get to see all of those fixtures. I believe the one that I didn't read out was the Rebels, and they are taking on the Brumbies. Now going back, a lot of pressure there on Richie Mo'unga, trying to do some Mo'unga magic here, getting driven backwards. Pablo Matera hits him in the face. Now bumping up, or bouncing up for Christian Lealiafano. It's a try for Finney Anisi, and he scores the try now. Seta was taken back, and that is going to be the try now for the Crusaders to win by 1 to 12 is paying $2.45. That changed quickly. That is for sure. That is going to be Finney Anisi scoring the try there. Coming off the bench in this game, and now has been able to have an impact in the 68th minute scoring it. It's just handling error after handling error. Richie Mo'unga, he decided rather than kicking it, try and run it out. Unfortunately for him, though, did backfire big time. Ended up giving the ball straight back into the hands of Finney Anisi. I think he tried to offload it to Matera, hit him in the chest, bounced back to Christian Lealiafano, tried to find the offload, hit down by Bryn Hall, And then from there, it was Finney Anisi who bounced on it a lot closer than I thought. It was going to be Moana Pasifika playing well, says Thomas Rees. And let's go Moana Pasifika, says Alice revealed. And oh, yeah, says Novmum there as well. I think McClutchy been able to convert that one. And now the score is going to be 12 points to Moana Pasifika and also 21 to the Crusaders. So anyone who got that money on for the Crusaders to win by 1 to 12, if that is what takes place, you get yourself a whole $10 per dollar there. And also we get that a lot closer. Oh no, I read that one. And also go Moana, go die for Moana. And try. Says Sebastian, I just called you, but Sebastian is the name. Sebastian. That sounds like a little bit of a remix name, doesn't it? Maybe your rap name, if you did have a career as a successful pop rap artist. I don't know why you do pop. I assume it would just be the fact that you are doing rap. Now straight through Jay Fiaki up to the 22 now after retaining their own kickoff here for the Crusaders. Continuing to drive their way forward. It's going to be Gardiner with his first carry of his Super Rugby career. To Mighty Williams now trying to go through, but Finney Anisi able to drag him down comfortably. And Seem Ashton, my cricket name. Ooh, a little bit of pace bowling perhaps. Currently 10 minutes left. This game between Moana Pasifika and the Crusaders. The Crusaders up to 5 phases now, straight out in front of the post. And currently, I would say that's the thing. Crusaders, they're fighting hard in this game, but Moana Pasifika also working extremely hard for themselves, trying to keep themselves in this game. Currently up to 10 phases, just back-to-back out in front of the posts. They haven't given away an advantage though yet, which is always good news. Brent Hall now trying to snipe on the short side. Got carry forward for Pablo Matera now, only a couple of meters out. Cody Taylor going around the side himself. Samuel Slade trying to get on the ball. Does he turn it over? No, he doesn't, and it's advantage against him. To Mighty Williams. He is inches from the line here. Crusaders, after 14 phases, that's over the line, and that's going to be the try. Who is it? Who are you? Who are you? It looks like to Mighty Williams. Yes, it is. Big to Mighty Williams. Scores the try straight away. And that is a brilliant response for the Crusaders. Straight away going, nah, you're not having that. And to Mighty Williams does manage to get himself over the line in the 60, I'll call it the 69th minute for that one, or somewhere around that marker. 70th will go. In fact, we'll go with a nice round number. But to Mighty Williams just round the ground or around the side of the breakdown, back to back phases there. Koriati, who are a couple as well. And also I kind of was expecting the Crusaders to be raining tries. And there says Novmum. Yeah, I think we can all agree this game is closer than anticipated, which gives us a lot of hope for Moana Pasifika. A bit back too quickly there, says Sebastian. Yeah, they just did that. The Crusaders, they do it pretty often in their careers. They just find a way of fighting back in that last 10 minutes or so. Abraham Polly, actually the man who scored that try. I thought it was to Mighty Williams. We're going to have to take that one back. But Abraham, I think it's Pole, in fact, not Polly. One moment, we'll go like this. We go like this. He's done well to score the try. He's a big boy, similar to Mighty Williams. I think that's where the confusion came from. And like they're saying, it all came from retaining their own kickoff there for the Crusaders. Currently now kicking high. It's going to be almost taken cleanly. It's available now. No, the Reds, or in fact the Crusaders, have been able to steal that one. Renault fires it back. Richie Moanga looks like they want to run it out from their own goal here. And also it was Apol who scored that one. Says it was from Novmum, and also but back too quickly. Sebastian Christian Laliafano now with the carry straight on the ball there for Isaiah Punavai. Not turned over. Flicking to the short side. It will be Finney Anisi. Across to Harvey Slade now. Juggle there. It was Henry Stowers, in fact. Oh, it's stolen there by Finley. No, it's all over the shop. Everyone's just dropping the ball at this stage. Morning, says Gareth. Welcome into the live stream, mate. Hope you're doing well. Currently, the first of 3 games. Come on, Moana Pasifika, another try. Says that Novmum there. And currently, if the Crusaders get themselves one more, they actually get the bonus point win, which is what they are chasing here. 7 minutes left to try and get themselves just the one more try. But the next live stream we will be starting at 9:30 p.m. New Zealand time. So currently 45 minutes away, and that will be the Fiji and Drua. And they will be taking on the opposition in the Rebels. It should be a very entertaining game because we don't really know what to expect from either of those sides in this upcoming fixture. I know what to expect from myself, and that is some bad pronunciations of the Fijian names. But other than that, hopefully I will be able to pronounce it not too bad overall. Currently, Cody Taylor, he will be hyped to be back out there for Super Rugby. Same with Richie Moonga and Morning Gareth in there. Says Sebastian. Now straight out in front for 6 here for the Crusaders. It's going to be about 35 metres out, I will say it will be. And also need some Ben Vullavala in there, says Bingo Bango. Where is Ben Vullavala at the moment? Is he in France? Is he in France or Japan? Might be in Japan. Where's he ended up? I know he was playing for Fiji last year, but I'm not sure where he went from there, whether or not he went French or he went Japanese. I assume he got a decent contract, though, in the process. So we got there, Pakistan 105 for 1 and India 160 for 2. So two high-scoring, I guess two high-scoring batting pitches by the looks of it at this stage. But we will be covering Australia versus Pakistan from day 3 onwards. So day 3, day 4, day 5. So be sure to tune in for that. And I'll say, yeah, where is he? And there says Bingo Bango. Kicked him behind now. A little chip and chase sitting up nicely there for Tima Whaina. Nuku 35 out now for Moana Pasifika. And they look like they are going to be attacking the line once again. Good attacking run there from, I believe it was it McKee? No, it was Alex McRobbie who did end up losing that ball. Kicked him behind now. And that's going to be a good kick from Fiend now. Close to the touchline. Chip and chase from Naria Fama. I think he might have just been tackled off the ball, but they're going to say play on for now. And he goes all right. Says Bingo Bango there, firing the wide ball now out to the hands of Gardner. Good ball on the outside. Off to Jay Fiaki. Good drag down ball, though. Or good tackle, I should say. I'm saying everything's good at the moment, yeah. And there says Jimmy. Currently now going back across to Paul. He's able to score himself his try. Surely that's a penalty? No. They weren't quite able to get it. He said Polly. Another man said Paul. So I'm not too sure what way to go. I'll go Polly just for now. But now Bryn Hall going back across. The Crusaders trying to chase that bonus point up to 75 minutes. And this one still available for them. Bryn Hall goes back to Moonga. Out to Fiaki now. George Bridge trying to step on the inside. Good low tackle on him. Straight on the ball there. No, still not turning it over. Bryn Hall going to the short side out to Fletcher Null. It's just good face play. I thought this chat is about rugby. This game up there is cricket. The chat is says Orlando. Every once in a while, there is a little bit of chat in there about the cricket, just because we did a cricket live stream a little while ago. In fact, last weekend, that's a brilliant run forward now for Moana Pasifika. And Jonathan Tamatine finally offload off to Lincoln McClutchy. Was he tackled without the ball? Tom Christie steals it clean. And now it's a counter-attack. It's going to be now on the outside. Callow. One more. Taylor goes to Punavai. Oh, he stripped himself. He has got back up, though, and that is going to be inside of the in-goal area. So William Hartville could just put it down. That was quick. James Dolman, the referee, is pure rubbish. And there says Jimmy there, and also need a Fijian players for Moana Pasifika. And there says Leo there. It looks like it's raining, but it's inside of Forsyth Barr. So unless the roof's leaking, it shouldn't be raining. But the way that people were dropping the ball earlier on, you would think that maybe there was a little bit of moisture in the air. But yeah, we're under cover, and it just seems to be very slippery. And also the camera, I think it's the light overall, because we're in that halfway in between stage of being slightly dark, but also not really completely and utterly dark. So the lights aren't quite sure what to do. But now Pablo Matera will be running this one back at the line. He's running sideways and now just continues to try and drive his way forward up to 30 metres out. Now Hall looking to the left-hand side, gives it back across. This time it's Tamaiti Williams. Does just hit the line hard. Hall goes back across Moonga. Now linking up with Fiaki. Those two look like they're going to be a dangerous pairing. George Bridge drops the ball out on the wing, but it wasn't the best pass to him. And now Moana Pasifika are going to have the line-out throw. In fact, it's going to be a scrum, so forget what I said about line-outs. We haven't had too many of them overall, although we've seen some good rolling mauls throughout this one. But currently, the next game of the night, Fijian drawer taking on the Rebels. That will be at 9:30 p.m. on the Sunshine Coast Stadium, Brisbane, for this next matchup. And then following that at 12 a.m., also known as midnight, here in New Zealand, it will be the Western Force taking on the Reds. And that one will be a very good game as well. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We have got plenty more of Moana Pasifika coming this season. We are going to be covering every single game of this year of Super Rugby. So be sure to stick around. I believe next week they have got the games taking place for... Wait, the Blues versus Chiefs. Is that taking place? Oh, no, that is that one. Okay, so they've still got a game of the Women's Super Rugby, I believe, taking place tomorrow. But other than that, the other game has been postponed. That was with the Blues playing for that one. But the men's Blues game is still taking place up against the Chiefs. Should mention that's going to be hit down Okay, play on is the call from James Dolman. Tima Whainā Nuku now firing it back across Tamatine. Didn't really have a spot at the Hurricanes, so Moana Pasifika said, you know what, come sign for us, mate. We'll give you plenty of game time. That's kicked him behind by Lincoln McClutchy with a good kick downfield into the 22. Che Fiaki. Now it's going to grab this one 5 meters out from his line. Do they go for the counter attack? No, instead does put the boot to ball. He's got a very long kick on Che Fiaki. That is going to be now 45 meters out and the line out. So Lincoln McClutchy, he's looking fired up. He's had a very good game so far for Moana Pasifika, and Christian Laliafano's just accidentally run into him. You hate to see that. Probably feeling tired enough without needing to try and regain his balance after getting bumped by his own teammate. That ball's going to be sitting up beautifully for Finney Nisi. George Bridge, or in fact, it's Pablo Matera making the tackle. Now Henry Stowers continues to drive his way forward. That is a signing that the Brumbies will be a little bit disappointed that they don't have any more. Inside ball from Lincoln McClutchy. William Arvelli tries to find the offload, but Bryn Hall seals that one nicely. Now going back across Pule. Lincoln up on the outside. It was Finau now off to Che Fiaki once again, who has carried many meters, over 100 throughout this match so far. Bryn Hall going back across to Matera. Lincoln up 40 meters out. Moana Pasifika all the way. I'll brew myself a coffee. See you for the next game. Says Sebastian. We will see you later on. 1 minute left of this one now. Down the wing, Corey Callow ankle tapped. To try and find the offload. George Bridge has knocked the ball on again, unfortunately. But once again, though, it's not a great pass to him. He has been pretty unlucky with the way that the ball has been distributed to him in the last little while. Probably last 10 minutes. It's been pretty bad for him, unfortunately. Either trying to take the ball way above his head or at the ankles. Currently, Moana Pasifika, their next 3 matches, they will be away up against the Hurricanes, away up against the Highlanders, which I believe will actually be here, if I'm not wrong, and then the Hurricanes. They are going to be at home for that game, Moana Pasifika, and also CRUSADERS go champion. And this is multi-trade man. That one. The next 3 games for the CRUSADERS, they have got the Chiefs at home, the Blues at home, and then the Chiefs away from home. They actually play the Chiefs twice in 3 weeks, and that is the rematch of the Super Rugby Aotearoa final that we did get to see for ourselves, compared to, I guess the other one to look at is the fact that the Highlanders versus Blues is taking place next week, and that is going to be a rematch of the Trans-Tasman final. And plenty of action happening for us here. Now going to be passing it back across. It's a loose ball. Setting up nicely. Christian Laliafano now off to Che Fiaki. In fact, it's Tima Whainā Nuku. Once again, tackled. That's going to be a clean steal in the breakdown from the CRUSADERS. And they have got one last opportunity. Try and get themselves that bonus point. Bryn Hall trying it back across to Callow. Let's get hit hard in the tackle. Moana Pasifika, they just want to try and turn this ball over. If they pass it out to George Bridge, if it's anything like the last few passes to him, that will be game over. That's an advantage, though, for the CRUSADERS now. So they've got a little bit of a lifeline here. Richie Moanga now trying to get the draw and pass going. He's run out of space. And it's been stolen by Finney and Nisi. They go back for the penalty. CRUSADERS might not get the bonus point after all. Says Max Cottle, although they have got a good opportunity straight out in front to be able to go for the corner here. As long as Richie Moanga finds the touchline that is inside of the field of play, I don't think you try and risk too much here for the CRUSADERS. You just make sure this one goes in to touch. Just build from the next phase. That's a good kick from Richie Moanga. And now 5 meters out, CRUSADERS are going to have themselves the rolling maul opportunity. This is a perfect time for the CRUSADERS to be able to get themselves the bonus point. And also, well done, MP, or Moana Pasifika. Let's go for the party. And there says Leo. And currently, I mean, Moana Pasifika, they've played extremely well in this game. They have nothing to be disappointed with, even if there is a try here, which, of course, Moana Pasifika would love to be able to avoid. If they do even have them scored against here, so a very good effort for them. This is their first game. They weren't able to play either of their warm-up games. Or they got one warm-up game, but they weren't able to play either of their first or second round games due to positive cases. The players have come back, though, and now they continue to try and build themselves towards that top 8. Currently a good rolling ball. That's the worst time to yawn. Cody Taylor gets his second, probably second of many for this season. In the 80th minute, though, Cody Taylor does end up picking up that bonus point for the CRUSADERS. There you go, like that. But Moana Pasifika so close to being able to stop the CRUSADERS from getting the bonus point. Scott Robertson, he'll be nervous after that performance, but the big thing there is they walk away with 5 points, and that is what the CRUSADERS will be striving for throughout this whole season. Try and get themselves big wins, bonus point wins, try and really secure that home final, because we know how dangerous they can be with a home final of the CRUSADERS. They don't lose too often at home. So that is why they do want to try and work their way towards it. But Cody Taylor once again rolling maul try for himself. Now Crusaders going to be finishing this game with a possible 35. Why am I yawning? I don't know why I'm yawning. I got a decent night's sleep last night. I think it's because I was up relatively early for a Norm Maxwell interview. So I think that's why I'm slightly earlier. And also Moana will get better. Exactly right. This is their first game in a competition that hopefully they have a lot of longevity in. So yeah, we will have to wait and see how they go. But I am hopeful. I've seen these guys in the Bunning NBC really tear it up, such as a Lincoln McClutchy. You look through at some of these forwards as well. Solomoni Funaki, he's very good for Auckland. Who else we got in that back line? Pretty much the whole Hawke's Bay back line. Levi Amua, it's great to see him get some experience. That's missed to the side for Richie Moonga, but that is going to be the end of the game. And it is 33 points to 12 for Moana Pasifika. So losing this one by 21 points there, but nothing to be ashamed of. Very good performance from the Moana Pasifika boys, and we will be back live in only 35 minutes time, and that will be for Fiji and Drua when they take on the Rebels. But I do appreciate every single one of you for being here. We'll probably look through some stats to do with this match as well while we are at it, since I have still got them up on the screen, and we will be able to find out who was the leading tackler and able to get some sleep. See, Stephen, I did get some sleep. It just seems to be like the combination of getting up early and also the lights just end up making me yawn. But currently 5 tries for the Crusaders, 2 for Moana Pasifika, 406 meters carried for the Crusaders compared to the 251 for Moana Pasifika there. Clean breaks 4-1 for Moana Pasifika. So that is something to take out of this game. And also, I mean, they had to attempt 188 tackles, making 166 of them, which is a pretty decent number for a side who are now just making their way into the Super Rugby scene. 99 tackles attempted by the Crusaders, missing 20, actually a lot lower for the tackling percentage completion than they would have liked to be. And the Crusaders, it's 9 penalties against Moana Pasifika, 63% possession for the Crusaders there as well. Looking through at the players who did perform in this game, I would say for myself, Lincoln McClutchy, I would say that he was probably the best of the lot. And also Levi Amua in the midfield also did extremely well with Danny Tuala on the inside, getting 39 running meters. 85 for Che Waiaki, also making a total of 11 carries, 4 defenders beaten for himself in that one. And also looking through at the tackles, Tima Whainaunuku, 16 tackles, 2 turnovers, 1. Levi Amua, 14 tackles, 3 turnovers, 1. Danny Tuala, 15 tackles, 2 turnovers, 1. Henry Stowers, 23 tackles that man made. Alamanda Matanga, 19 tackles, 1 turnover, 1. Some good numbers there for Moana Pasifika, and there is plenty to build off after a strong foundation they were able to make for themselves. Tom Christie, no surprises there, is the leading tackler, not just for the Crusaders, but also with the whole competition, having 12 tackles, 1 turnover, 1. So he continues to add to his 47 that he made in the first 2 weeks, which is a very impressive stat and a very impressive tally. Pablo Matera also making 11 tackles with the 1 turnover, 1 there as well. India just losing Virat Kohli for anyone who is curious about the cricket that is going on. So they are now 3 down in the test match, and also good start, Moana, exactly right. And I am looking forward to seeing what they can do in the near future. But currently 2 more live streams coming tonight for Super Rugby. We've got the Fiji and Drua. They will be taking on the Rebels. And then the next game that we are covering it is the Western Force, and they will be taking on the Reds. So thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all in half an hour for the next one. Be sure to just stick around, have a chat in that next session. Do let your predictions be known, and I will see you all